All right. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Chill Reading. Now with a new microphone that I hope is better in every way compared to the old one. Hello there. Hey there, Meredith. Hey, Egg. Any on the cartoon? Hey, Michael. Hey, Moth. Dark Dry Bowser. Dosiamel. Hey, Nano Alcove. Hey, Phil. Hope your throat is doing better. Oh, it's doing so much better than last week. You don't even know. Thank you, bowl of noodle soup for the $2. Just got off work. How's... Oh, no, wait. That was 4 days ago. Thank you, Random Lad, for the £2. Your throat better, Phil? Yep. Much, much better. Thank you, Mark 8 Tree Bark, for the 5 gifted memberships. Hey, Joylo. Hey, Ace Drawings. Chill reading time, baby. Hell yeah. Hey, Osbus. By the way, yeah, the new mic is awesome. I mean, it better be, considering how much I paid for it. Hey, Luke Nukem. Thank you for the $10. Unrelated. There are people who wanted FNAF in Fortnite before Dead by Daylight. Yet, FNAF and Dead by Daylight happened first, and Jason Voorhees got into Fortnite and Call of Duty first. Is the mathing? I don't give a shit. Because I don't really play any of those games. I think that Jason Voorhees was in, Forsaken, I think? That's all I know, really. Hey, Fartface. Ready to hear some spooky SCPs today? Yes. So, what I'm going to do right now is... We have a little bit of a time limit, you know? We are going to be reading out stuff from the SCP Foundation today. This is the second stream of the Chill Reading series where we, you know... are reading out the wiki entries for these different SCPs. I'm gonna be taking suggestions from the chat for what SCPs I should be reading today. And after 3 hours of that has been completed, I will be ending the stream and I will be checking out Little Nightmares 3 in a different stream. So, if you're someone that just uses the Chill Reading streams to put stuff in the background, I'm gonna be redirecting you to Little Nightmares 3. But for the people that use it just to, like, chill out and sleep to this, don't worry, you'll still get your 3 hours and stuff like that while I read the SCP entries. And then after that, I will be moving on to do the Little Nightmares stream, because I forgot that Little Nightmares 3 was happening today, so... I'm gonna be doing that. I already pre-ordered it, by the way. It looks nice, I suppose, though it does still feel weird that a new developer is doing a game in the same art style as the original developers. I don't know how to feel about that. Hey, FBI Donut, thank you for the 23 months. Finally able to catch another stream. Mike's great. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. The first few streams that I did with this new mic, I think, were a little bit fucky, because I added a little bit too much, like, boom to, like, the filters, because I wasn't using the correct settings, so, like, I toned that down, and now it should be, like, much less, invasive to the ears, I guess, if you're using headphones. I didn't realize that there was much of a difference because I was using my phone, I was not using... like headphones to listen to the audio quality, so like I turned some stuff down and made it much more like muted, you know? Hey Mark 8 Tree Bark, thank you for the super chat. Nice to have something to listen to while I write down lessons for uni. Thanks, Phil. No problem. As everyone in the cesspit that has been here for like a few years by now, you already know that this stream is not really going to have much of a visual component. It's just going to be me and my little chill PNG, my little chill fi, just sitting around here. And I'm going to be reading out some stuff from the SCP Foundation. And if you mostly use the streams as background noise to do whatever else you want, you can do so. I recommend you do that and don't really pay attention, because like, I'm not really going to be doing much. You know, I'm just going to be reading. Speaking of reading, thank you Docio Mal for the super chat. May I recommend SCPs 018 and 682 since they're my favorites? Alright. I have a list of SCPs that I'm planning to read today, but I'll add those to the list. We got about, like I said, 3 hours of stream before I do Little Nightmares 3, so, you know. It all depends on how fast I actually read, I suppose. Thank you, Wilk Lord, for the 20 months. Hi, Phil. Nice to see you doing another chill reading stream. Love listening to stories while I'm working on stuff. Also, it's my birthday today. Happy birthday, Wilk Lord. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Don't really got you a present, unless you qualify reading some SCP entries as a present, though. If that's the case, it's not really a costly present. I'm just sitting in here and using my eyeballs to read. Let me get some water. Alright. Also, yes. My throat has been feeling pretty normal. I went to, like, the pharmacy and I got myself one of those, like, little jarabes. Not really sure how to translate that from Spanish to English, but it's literally just one of those syrups. The syrups that you put on your throat, and it just makes all the pain go away. And after that other stream that I did, like the Look Outside stream, like I was feeling dead. I pretty much didn't use like my voice at all, like these past few days, because I was just I was completely like shot down. Thank you, Ender, for the 12 euro. Taking the opportunity to listen to something while I try to sleep. Curse my time zone. Don't you worry. I mean, I guess you would have to have, like, YouTube Premium to be able to listen to this while you sleep. I have YouTube Premium because I don't want to be looking at ads while I put on, like, background music for people. But if you have YouTube Premium, you can just easily put this on like the bedside, in your bedside table, and just go to sleep, or just put on some like earphones or something and just like listen to this while you go to sleep or relax. Just use uBlock, dog. Yeah, but that doesn't work on mobile though. That's the problem, isn't it? Besides, I did have that before, and then YouTube started like striking down, not striking down, but it started to like make YouTube unusable for people that were using like the most common like ad blockers. So I realized, wait, YouTube pays me every month, and then I pay YouTube every month. I'm basically just getting a slight like a slight minus like $5 to my like monthly income. So I say, you know what, fair enough. If YouTube's gonna pay me enough to be able to afford food every month, might as well use YouTube Premium, you know? I'm not saying you should do it, but since I'm technically employed by YouTube, I figured it's a fair enough transaction, you know? Thank you, Freespring, for the 38 months. 38-month woohoo! Also, how are you, Phil? I'm feeling much better from yesterday, and I guess I'm crazy because instead of spending the week doing literally anything this week, I decided to stream most of the week, at least one stream every single day. I got the chill reading lined up today, and then I have to do the little nightmare stream. Then tomorrow I have to play Clover Pit with Kako. Then I have to do The Baby in Yellow with Zach, and that one is stupid. Just a short little thing about The Baby in Yellow, the Saturday stream, that I literally did not know that existed until a few days ago. Like, I made a post about what people wanted to see most this week. It's in the toxic level membership. I give those people like monthly polls to see what they want to see during the week, and literally a single person, a single member commented on that poll, "Hey Phil, you should check out The Baby in Yellow." And I'm like, what the fuck is The Baby in Yellow? So I went to see it, and I was like, what do you mean this like mobile shitpost game has like 10,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam? What do you mean Markiplier played it? What do you mean it has like millions of views on YouTube? What the fuck is this? I've never heard about this. Apparently it blew up like 2 years ago or something. I was completely out of... I don't know what the fuck, man. So, I'm playing that with Zach on Saturday. It got a makeshift plushie, exactly, in the cartoon, like... Just complete you know, has that ever happened to you? Has that ever happened to you, chat? Like, that something just sneaks up on you, like, culturally? Like, you have no basis, like, the algorithm does not recommend something to you at all. So, like, after a few years, you just suddenly find it, and it's, like, the biggest thing ever, and you just never knew about it for years. Melly says, I've never heard of this game before. All the time, lol. Neon the Cartoon says, I have no idea what the fuck 6-7 is. I think that's a TikTok thing. The problem is that I'm not on TikTok, and that's usually where the new stuff pops up, you know? You know the 6-7 thing, like, there's a kid that says 6, and then they say 7, and, like, everyone laughs. It reminds me of, like, that SpongeBob bit where, like, Patrick tells, like, SpongeBob, hey, SpongeBob, you know what's funnier than 41? 42, and then they like, lose their shit. I think that's what's meant to be funny, you know? Like, that's kind of the bit. Because I'm old, obviously, because I'm basically 40 years old right now. Every time a new meme comes out that I don't understand, I usually just assume, oh, it's meant to be fucking confusing so that I don't get it, and if I don't get it, that's like the funny. That's what makes it funny, you know? Makes it funny because it doesn't make any sense, you know? So counting is funny now? Basically, yes, basically. Thank you, Autistic Monkey, for the super chat. I recommend SCP-748 and 4355. Glad the voice is good, though. Thank you, Autistic Monkey. Thank you, Fartface, for the 34 months. It's finally getting cold here, so this is perfect. 2 things, though. Try SCP-3250 and buy the plushie. Oh, yeah, we're almost at 60% funded on the Spooky Pumpkin Fi plush, and that's like, in about a week, 60% funded. I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you so much to everyone here in the chat. And if you're lurking and you can't talk on the chat, that's also good. Sorry you can't talk if you don't have a membership, that's completely fine. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has bought the Spooky Pumpkin Fi plushie. We're pretty confident. Like, I'm pretty confident that we're gonna be able to fund it, like, by the end of the month. So, thank you so much to everyone that got at least one of those. I know multiple people here on chat that have bought multiple of those plushies, which is crazy. A little bit unnecessary, but if you want to burn one of them, I guess you have to get at least a second plushie. Either way, thank you so much. Thank you, Michael, for the 8 months. Using my 8 months to remind all the slimes to hydrate. I got some gamer subs here with me, and I got some water, because alongside the gamer subs, I also need to get some water to, like, get all the, like, sugar out of my mouth. If you are, like, drinking the gamer subs, if you use the promo code, and then you think, this is nice, but, like, it leaves a little bit of sugary taste in my mouth, always have, like, a bottle of water next to you so that you can clean the, like, sugary, like, flavor off your mouth, and then it, like, you can get a hit of it again later. It feels much better to, like, not have the sugary, like, sucralose flavor thing, like, in your mouth constantly, and you get a better hit, like, after a while. I got water, hell yeah, the cartoon. Skello says, I'm waiting until it's 100% funded before I get one, because I want to buy it in celebration, plus I have no idea how much is in my bank account right now. That's okay, Skello. Yeah, that's a thing that I've noticed in some makeshift campaigns, at least my makeshift campaigns. People have this weird tendency where they, like, wait until a campaign is 100% funded, and then just then, when it's guaranteed that it's funded, then they get a plushie. I'm not sure why they do that. Maybe it's because they're afraid that the plush is not going to be funded, and they only want to get it when it's, like, guaranteed. But that's completely fine. You can choose to buy it whenever if you have the money for it. Ah, that's some good water. Thank you, Luke Nukem, for the $2. I'm more under a rock than you. I suppose so. I mean, if you're gonna be a VTuber, you kind of have to get slightly knowledgeable about the new memes. I guess this might be cheating, but if you guys want to know how, like, a stupid autistic person that doesn't really know much about the trends gets their memes, I just subscribe to fucking Lessons in Internet Culture. And that's it. Either Lessons in Internet Culture or, like, Sumito Media. I watch those two assholes, and, like, they basically spoon feed me whatever the fuck new meme people are currently going on about today. Jesus, I feel called out by that statement. Don't worry, Nano, like, I ain't got time to, like, doom scroll through Twitter or, like, 4chan nowadays. I don't go on TikTok. Like, I am not going to be the one scrolling through thousands of social media posts just to get the context of the latest meme. I'm fine. I'll just go to the people that, like, spoon feed me the information, and I'm fine with that. Dark Dry Bowser says, I feel so old and I'm only 21. Oh, don't worry, buddy. It's only gonna get worse from here. It's only getting worse from here. I thank you, Fox Gaming, for the 31 months. Hi, how are you, Phil? I'm doing excellent. Looking forward to Little Nightmares 3 coming out in, like, about 3 hours right now. Hey, Pam Bean Weirdo, thank you for the $2. Hydrate or die straight? Alright, let me get some of that gay water in my mouth then. Thank you, Foolish Fiend, for the $2 Canadian. Rinsing your mouth is better for your teeth too. That's true, that's true. Thank you, Ukes, for the €2. Want to suggest SCP-2521. Good luck with this one, though. Alright, I have a list now that people have made, like, some suggestions. I'll use those as, like, my list for today. Hopefully I'm able to get through some of those. Joylo says, talking about doom scrolling, that new Cinder Google Docu, that was definitely something. Oh, I know. I read like about half of that document and then I kind of gave up because I realized this is just petty high schooler bullshit that should have probably just like stayed in between people's DMs. I don't know. Whenever I see people going like, oh, he was so mean and they said something bad, blah, 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 it's like, God, I'm way too old for that shit, you know? Like, I'm just gonna stay away from that drama-filled nightmare. Thank you, Reeser, for the 14 months. Maybe if those toxins all got the plush, it'll be funded sooner. Don't be shy, chat. Consume the product. I'm pretty confident that it's gonna be funded either way. I just don't want to see people complaining later that, oh my god, I can't believe I missed out on this. I didn't know that the plushie was happening. Like, those are the people that piss me off because, like, I always scream at the top of my lungs that the plushie is available right now, and then they just don't notice. Whatever, I'm not gonna be, like, holding it against people. Thank you, Orange Fanter, for the $2. Super excited for the baby in yellow. Thank you. Thank you, Queen Libra, for the 9 months. I have to consume the plush next week. Well, the plush will be available until the end of October, so you still got time to get it. We're still, like, in the first third of October, so you got time. And thank you, Banana Boy, for the $2. Realizing that I've been watching for 3+ years, so cool. Thank you, I didn't even believe that people were gonna get past 1 year, so seeing 3 times that amount is crazy. Thank you. Alright, so... we got about 5 minutes before the hangout portion of the stream ends, so... I have some news. Some small news before we get into the SCPs. First of all, my YouTube has updated, actually. It happened this morning while I was setting up the streams. My YouTube dashboard updated. Apparently, I was inducted into a new beta feature that they are doing. Not sure if you guys saw the news, but a few months ago during that like YouTube convention, creator convention thing, they released news about this horizontal plus vertical YouTube stream feature. And what that essentially is the stream will be available for both people in widescreen, like in TVs and computers, and they will also be available on phones in a vertical format. So, in the future, in like maybe a few weeks or something, depends, because like it's a little bit buggy right now, I will be able to modify the stream layout so that it works on vertical phones, right? So you will have vertical streams that you can check out on your phone without having to like turn your phone around or like use it in landscape mode. People will be able to just switch between horizontal and vertical seamlessly, which is very, very nice, like genuinely very nice. Obviously that's optional. I am not going to force people to look at the streams in vertical mode, but I will have like that option available for people that do want to see that. Especially for like the chill reading streams, I think that will be very beneficial. Because not much gameplay is going to be happening on screen. And it's just going to be my little PNG tuber, or maybe future Vtuber model. And it's going to be the chat. And it's going to have the same effects and stuff, but it's going to be available in vertical mode. So that's going to be interesting. I could do the feature right now. In fact, I was thinking of trying it out right now. But I've seen some people complain that it's very buggy right now because it's only giving you the like 1 stream key instead of 2 for the vertical mode. So I'll wait until YouTube like properly properly implements the feature and fixes all the bugs and stuff before I try it out. Alright. I think it's time to start with the SCP readings. So, let me go into the first super chat that did a suggestion and start off from there. So, the first two suggestions are from Dosiomel, who suggested SCP-018 and SCP-682. I'm pretty sure I've heard about these. I think these are pretty common. I think 682 is definitely very common. But let's see. Yeah, this is a pretty short one. We can start with this one pretty easily. So, the first SCP of the night is SCP-018. SCP-018 is Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-018 is to be contained in its specialty metal restraint inside of a 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter sealed box, lined with heavy synthetic padding. The sealed box is then submerged in the center of the 10 meter by 10 meter by 10 meter polyethylene holding tank. If SCP-018 is to break free from the holding box, the polyethylene-based goo will slow down kinetic activity enough for proper retrieval by containment personnel. Personnel entering SCP-018's holding chamber are to wear specialized plating found inside of SCP-018 observation and a breathing apparatus before being lowered into the polyethylene tank. If SCP-018 is loose outside of the polyethylene tank, personnel are advised to secure themselves in a separate room and close doorways or hatches to isolate 018 until containment teams arrive. Description: SCP-018 has the appearance of a super ball made by the Whammo Company in 1969. It is a 6 centimeters in diameter and colored red. Found when the Blank Company was hired to clean out a warehouse that had Whammo merchandise in it. SCP-018 was noted to be able to bounce with extreme height. At first thought to be a pleasant child's toy, SCP-018 was able to bounce with over 200% efficiency. That is, if dropped 1 meter, it would bounce 2 meters, then 4 meters, then 8, oh that's bad, then 8 meters, then 16 meters. The ball soon became a dangerous projectile, reaching speeds estimated at over 100 kilometers per hour, and damaging property and injuring 5 in the city of Blank. Oh, that's bad. I mean, a little bit goofy, but that's really dangerous. It can reach bullet speeds in a few minutes. It came to a rest after several days in the nearby lake of Blank and was retrieved by SCP personnel. Due to the speed of the object and the total surprise by its victims, no cover-up story was required or initiated. Document 1804. Message by the 05 Council. Blank. I hope everything is well. The reason I write to you is because I believe I have found a more effective method for retrieving new or escaped SCP objects. Yes, I realize that we haven't had any progress in reverse engineering whatever allows this thing to defy the laws of thermodynamics. but we have come up with a very effective method for integrating one of those new SCP-A5 armor suits with this. Just hear me out. We implanted into the bottom of a boot, rig up a little bit of a mechanical device, and ta-da! The suit is now capable of jumping well over a building. Also, if the wearer has their foot against something they want dead, well, let's just say it delivers a hell of a kick. All I need is permission to modify one of the pre-existing SCP-A5 suits, and then you'll be able to actually capture blank, plus any of the other escaped SCP objects. Trust me, when have I let you down in the past? Dr. Blank. Document 018-06. Letter to Dr. Blank. Dr. Blank. Upon assignment, Agent Blank was issued your modified SCP-A5 armor in retrieving SCP Blank, and the results are mixed. Agent Blank was able to place the blank color onto SCP Blank, chase it through the Amazon, and restrain it by dismemberment. However, due to a malfunction of your little mechanical device, he was launched almost a mile into the air and suffered 2 broken legs, 7 broken ribs, a missing arm, and a skull fracture upon hitting the water of Lake Blank on the way back down. You will fix that before I authorize your armor for common use. A mile? Oh my fucking god. Document 01811. Message to 05. Blank. Don't worry, it's fixed. But I have some more ideas. If I can be granted the use of some water from SCP-006, SCP Blank, and possibly Blank, I can deliver you a set of SCP-A5 armor and an agent that can capture any, if not all, rogue or unattained SCPs. All I'm waiting for is your approval. Oh. So basically, this is a cartoony, bouncy ball that is like following its own laws of physics. And instead of containing it to make sure that it doesn't turn into like a giant ball of like sound speed of death, they're just using it as like material to like make power armor that can kill people. These guys are dumbasses. Fuck them. Michael says, which one was 006, gang? Help. I'm not sure which one was 006, but that doctor's a dumbass. Hey Temple Beast, thank you for the €5. Hey Phil, I'm in Act 3 of Silksong and got 2 out of 3 hearts. Now I just have to get the crusty one and the literally gay one. Hope your voice is okay. My voice has been feeling much better since last week, thank you. Alright, so, I still need to complete Silksong, by the way. I'll probably make a poll for the toxic level members if I should do it next week or not. It's all up to them, really. Whatever, like, people want me to play the most, I'll just be making weekly polls for them in October, you know? That's why chill reading is here, by the way. If you're one of the people that wanted me to do a chill reading, congratulations, you voted for it in the toxic polls in the community posts. Let's continue with the suggestions with SCP-682. I think this is the... Yeah, this is the Reptile. This is the famous one. This is the one that everyone uses in their fanfics. This is SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. Item number, SCP-682, Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-682 must be destroyed as soon as possible. At this time, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying SCP-682. Only able to cause massive physical damage. SCP-682 should be contained within a 5 by 5 by 5 meter chamber, with 25 centimeter reinforced acid-resistant steel plating lining all inside surfaces. The containment chamber should be filled with hydrochloric acid until SCP-682 is submerged and incapacitated. Any attempts of SCP-682 to move, speak, or breach containment should be reacted to quickly and with full force as called for by the circumstances. Personnel are forbidden to speak to SCP-682 for fear of provoking a rage state. All unauthorized personnel attempting to communicate with SCP-682 will be restrained and removed by force. Due to its frequent attempts at containment breach, difficulty of containment and incapacitation, and high threat of Foundation exposure, SCP-682 is to be contained in Site Redacted. The Foundation will use the best of its resources to maintain all land within 50 kilometers clear of human development. Description: SCP-682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin. It appears to be extremely intelligent, and was observed to engage in complex communication with SCP-079 during their limited time exposure. SCP-682 appears to have hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. See Addendum 682-B. SCP-682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. SCP-682's physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material. 682 gains energy from anything it ingests, organic or inorganic. Digestion seems to be aided by a set of filtering gills inside of SCP-682's nostrils, which are able to remove usable matter from any liquid solution, enabling to constantly regenerate from the acid it is contained in. SCP-682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and SCP-682 has been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. In case of containment breach, SCP-682 is to be tracked and recaptured by all available mobile task forces. No teams with fewer than 7 members are cleared to engage it. To date, blank 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 attempted breaches have numbered at 17, while successful breaches have numbered at 6. Wow, these people suck at containing this thing. Fuck. Addendum 682-B. Portion of recorded transcript of something. There's a link there. Ooh. Begin log. Skip to 21 minutes 52 seconds. Dr. Blank says, "Now, why did you kill those farmers?" SCP-682 has no verbal communication. Dr. Blank says, "If you don't talk now, we will remove you from this attempt and place you back into." SCP-682 responds in incomprehensible form. Dr. Blank says, "Pardon?" Motions to move microphone closer. SCP-682 continues to talk in incomprehensible form. Dr. Blank says, "Speak up." Move the mic up closer. SCP-682 responds with, "They were incomprehensible." Dr. Blank says, "That microphone has only so much gain. Move it closer to it." Personnel D085 says, "His throat is messed up, man. Look at it. He ain't talking." SCP-682 responds with assaulting the D85 personnel and responding with, "They were disgusting." Dr. Blank retreats from the room. Yeah, no, this thing is a mess. There is an addendum here that is very long, but half of it is completely blank, and I'm not gonna just keep saying blank blank handled by blank. But basically, there are 6 instances of breaches where this thing tried to escape and killed everyone while trying to escape. Let's see. Termination options. Addendum 682E. Dr. Blank attempts to use SCP-409 on SCP-682. General Blank and Dr. Blank are observing. What the hell is 409? Contagious crystal. 0400 exposure. SCP-682 began to tear at the point of contact, causing massive trauma to the area. SCP-682 requests several times to know what it has been exposed to. At 8 a.m., crystallization begins, spreading much slower than normal. At 12 a.m., SCP-682 shows signs of extreme pain and begins having seizures. At 1 p.m., crystallization stops at 62% conversion. Crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to 682. At 2 p.m., SCP-682 recovers from exposure. Despite the loss of limbs and organs, 682 begins regeneration, stating that it will attempt to kill and consume all staff involved in the event. I like this idea of having like a really hard to kill lizard, and every single day it's getting more and more pissed off because these guys just keep trying to find different ways to kill it, and it never fucking works. It just never fucking works. SCP-682 appears to now be immune to SCP-409. Use of other SCP items to terminate 682 must now first be tested on samples of 682 before full-scale testing. In accordance with the doctor's recommendations, Doctor and Doctor have requested permission to attempt the termination of 682 using 689. Okay, what the hell is 689? SCP-689 Haunter in the Dark. The request is currently pending approval from the O5 Council. It has also been suggested by Dr. Gears to use SCP-182 in an attempt to communicate with SCP-682. 182 has expressed reluctance and refuses to enter the containment center of 682 if at all possible. There's an experiment log here. Oh my fucking god! How many stories does this thing have? This is like a 3-hour log of hundreds and hundreds of SCPs being used on 682 to try to kill it. That is awesome, dude! I'm not gonna be able to read all of these. But it would be interesting if, like, we went back to this log and we read of possible, like, SCPs that have tried to kill the lizard, you know? Or, you know what we should do? We should read more, like, regular SCPs from the list that we have. And then if there are any that also have a story with the lizard, we should go back and read the story with the lizard. To, like, see how they fared against it. Because, like, this is huge. Anyways. We're gonna move on from the lizard and then go back to this experiment log. Because this one is, like, a huge... Like, there's, like, hundreds of SCPs that they used against this thing. I like that. I've known about the lizard for, like, a very long time. And I know that it's, like, this ongoing meme in the SCP community of, like, okay, you made a really, like, cool SCP. How does it interact with the goddamn lizard? Is it able to kill it or not? You know? Anyways. Thank you, Ralsei from Tennis Game, for the 20 months. Hi, you should check out SCP-2521. It's pretty cool, in my opinion. I'll be adding that to the list. We're going from beginning of the stream to, like, the super chats that... like, I'm reading, like, every single super chat in order, and I'm accepting the suggestions for the stream until Little Nightmares 3 releases. Dosiomal super chats and says, you could basically throw 10 nukes at him, and he would not only tank it, but also adapt to it. Basically, Mahoraga. Lol. Yeah, that's what I'm scared about with this thing, because... it not only is unkillable, but the next time you try the same thing with it, it just doesn't work at all. That's so fucking cool. I guess the only thing you can do is, like, contain it. Thank you, Lord Darner, for the super chat. Please read SCP-2295. Don't forget the test log. Alright, I'll put that at the top of the list. Now let's continue with the... suggestions. Autistic Monkey suggests SCP-748. Let's see. Ooh, this one is weird. Alright, why... does it have, like, weird UI? Alright, I'll take a look at that one. SCP-748. Industrial Dissolution. Item 748. Level 3 Confidential. Containment Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The non-anomalous structure above SCP-748 has been converted into Site-68. In the event of a civilian encounter, security personnel are to employ non-lethal force in conjunction with the administration of amnestics. A steel, barbed wire fence must be maintained at a 4-kilometer radius around SCP-748. Signs warning of toxic contamination are to be attached to the fence at every 3-meter interval. Security has been increased in light of recent changes to SCP-748. Researchers are to travel and work in groups of no fewer than 3 and must be accompanied by an armed escort at all times. Security personnel are to be equipped with helmet-mounted live audio/video recording devices, and all personnel must be equipped with a GPS tracking unit. Okay, what is it then? Description: SCP-748 is an abandoned industrial complex capable of mass production through anomalous technology. Located in Lowell, Massachusetts, SCP SCP-748 was constructed beneath a non-anomalous factory. SCP-748's anomalous machines are rusted, damaged, and primarily disabled. Based on recovered documents, these machines would have required a level of power on par with a fusion reactor, but their intended power source has yet to be discovered. The construction of SCP-748 appears to be incomplete. Evidence of this includes walled doorways, dead-end halls, and wire/pipes that connect to nothing. Posters throughout the complex display motivational/propagandistic slogans, including a "hard worker is a happy worker" sign and "active minds lead to idle hands" signs, among others. The first subterranean floor is accessible via a collapsed portion of SCP-748's surface interior. Metal signs designate the location as Boarding 03/1200 I-21. The floor is characterized by 8 hallways, cell blocks 1 through 8, each converging at a circular room equipped with a large mechanical lift. Cells are designed for the containment of workers. The floor is estimated to have been designed for the capability of housing 4,000 to 6,000 individuals in crowded, unsanitary conditions. The second Is this basically the toxic cesspit? What the hell? The second subterranean floor is a rectangular chamber. Despite its distance from the surface, it appears to be designed for the packaging and shipping of products. Local signs designate the floor Shipping 03/12/00 5190. The floor contains 21 mechanical lifts, including the central elevator. The lifts most likely used for the transportation of items from the assembly floor. Contained within are 3 machines of identical design, attached to the southern, eastern, and northern walls, and are respectively labeled Notok, Upok, and Boriach. Although disabled, recovered documents suggest that their purpose was related to the transportation of objects. The western wall appears to have once housed such a machine, but it seems to have been destroyed. These machines have been classified as SCP-7481. What the hell do these things do exactly? Heavily rusted crates were discovered haphazardly scattered throughout the area. The crates are non-anomalous, and their anomalous cargo has been transferred to Site Blank for study. Anomalous objects recovered from these crates include 500 rocking horses, biologically alive, scream when observed, highly radioactive. What the fuck? 500 fur coats, crafted from the pelts of various unknown species. They're perpetually on fire. 2,000 rifles that superficially resemble the M1903 Springfield. No observable anomalies, but canned counters have registered them at 50 HM, suggesting high levels of potential unreality. 800 bowler hats that cannot be removed once worn. Causes the wearer to expel wasps from every orifice. Oh my god! 200,000 cigarettes. Direct inhalation transforms the consumer into a basking shark. Affected individuals will explode after complete transformation. a process requiring approximately 30 minutes. 10 metric tons of rotting meat. Genetic analysis revealed a hybrid species of human, pig, and squid. Highly radioactive. What the fuck is this thing? It's like a factory of horrors. The third subterranean floor is a semicircular chamber accessible via the central elevator. Signs designate this floor Production 031200 Omega 91. The location is composed of conveyor belts, pneumatic tubes, electron tubes, and pipes, all of which connect to a large machine, since classified as SCP-7482, located in the southern section of the chamber. Based on recovered documents, SCP-7482's intended purpose was roughly analogous to a molecular assembler. However, its design and mechanics fail to correlate with such a hypothetical constructor or with established laws of nature, rendering the process entirely anomalous. It appears that SCP-7482 suffered significant damage at some point in the past, an event likely related to SCP-748's neutralization. This is estimated to have occurred in the early 1950s, despite records stating that the surface factory was shut down and abandoned in 1915. Addendum. On May 14th, 1996, a blockage of bone and scrap metal was removed from several large pipes used throughout the complex. This removal caused the pipes to flood with water, resulting in the loss of 11 personnel. Following this incident, electrical lights were enabled throughout the complex, flickering and dim, suggestive of low power, and an aperture opened where the central elevator shaft had previously terminated, connecting to an additional floor. The fourth subterranean floor is a spherical chamber accessible via the central elevator shaft. Metal signs designate the floor as Management Delta 586. Contained within this floor are 200 pillar-shaped machines attached to one another via copper wires, bronze pipes, and vacuum tubes. Each device houses a glass cylinder containing an unidentified green liquid and one preserved human brain. These brains are biologically alive, but have suffered damage consistent with lobotomy. These devices are classified as SCP-7483 and connect to a large and intricate apparatus at the northeastern section of the floor, which has then since been classified as SCP-7484. That's cool. That's rad as shit, dude. SCP-7484 is a 275 metric ton biomechanical machine related to the control and management of SCP-748. SCP-7484's mechanical component is comparable to an analog computer, albeit one of incredible complexity, while its organic component is a living human brain that claims to be Randolph T. Metzger. SCP-7484's voice is often distorted and marred by static. It remains unknown how it is able to speak and hear. Oh shit, we can actually read the interviews. It's just a giant brain! Oh my god. It's a giant brain underneath the factory, called Randolph. The interviewed, Randolph T. Metzger. Interviewer, Dr. Emerson. Forward. First official interview with SCP-7484. Begin log. Dr. Emerson says, "Please state your name." SCP-7484 responds, I am Randolph Thaddeus Metzger. Has the investor sent you? Does he finally wish to parlay after all these years? Dr. Emerson responds with, No, I wasn't sent by the investor. Tell me, how did you come to be in your current state? SCP-7484 responds with, Do you think yourself as my equal? Humble your tone and lower your head. I demand answers. Satisfy my desire, and perhaps I'll indulge your curiosity. Doctor responds with, Very well, Mr. Metzger. Ask your questions. SCP-7484 responds with, If you're not one of his sycophants, then who are you? Emerson responds, I am a researcher, nothing more. Does that satisfy? Ooh. SCP-484 interrupts, voice distorted, a metallic and grating tone. Liar! Liar! I've been watching you with all my eyes. A researcher, yes, but don't play me for a fool. Emerson responds with, I'm afraid that information is confidential. The brain responds with, Then you are a parasite and shall receive nothing. Ooh, drama between the big brain in a jar and the doctor. Bro, you're a brain, you're not better than me. Second interview. Dr. Emerson starts with, We agree to your terms. We are an organization that deals with anomalies, such as yourself. The brain responds with, I'm an anomaly now? Oh, it's simply a trade secret. Doctor responds with, Oh, being a brain in a jar? Brain responds with, Now, there's no need to be snide. Will you answer our questions then? Brain responds with, Speak your words. I'll decide whether to answer or not. Dr. Emerson, how did you come to be in your present state? 7484 responds, I was utterly aghast, you know, at least at first. No doubt my enemies would have proclaimed poetic justice or some rot. The investor was not punishing me, no. Efficiency was increased. That was all that mattered. Dr. Emerson responds with, Who was the investor? SCP-7484 responds with, A very wealthy man. Wealthier than I. And I was the 6th wealthiest magnate in the world. The 5 more affluent than I, they too were willing to serve the invisible hand of the market. I know not his name, or how he procured his fortune. Perhaps every loose coin falls his way. There is a shadow market. There has always been a shadow market. Where Rockefeller reigned by daylight, the investor ruled in darkness, and even Rockefeller bowed his head. The filth of this world, the dregs, the socialists, the parasites. They called us robber barons. If we were barons, then the investor was emperor. And none but us even knew he existed. In the end, he dared to put a stop to the project, saw the writing on the wall, knew he was losing control. Now go. I grow wary of conversation. Return later, if you must. So what I'm getting from this guy is he is basically the brain in a jar equivalent of like that fucking guy from Fallout New Vegas. You know, that guy in a suit that put himself in the machine to run that city. I forgot what his name was. Basically turned himself into a machine to rule over his city forever. Mr. House, yeah, exactly, yes. He's basically the factory equivalent of like Mr. House. Alright. Final interview. Dr. Emerson starts with, would you be willing to answer more questions? The brain in a jar says, ask and you shall receive. Dr. Emerson responds with, what can you tell me about this complex? What is its purpose? Brain in a jar responds with, and you call yourself a researcher? How can you not see its purpose? If you were my employee, I would have stripped you of your position and thrown into the crucible as scrap material. Dr. Emerson says, allow me to correct myself. We know it is for manufacturing, but what is its larger purpose? How does it work? Brain in a jar responds with, to take industry to its logical conclusion. And how it works? Ha! A trade secret, my friend. We prefer to keep the upper hand. Dr. Emerson asks, we? Are you referring to those other brains? 7484 says, those are merely additional places to store my memory. Thoughtless tools, nothing more. Do you think I am the only one? Many served the investor. You don't even know the true scale of this place, do you? Please explain. No. I find this all incredibly dull. Leave me be. Closing statements. It appears that 748 is only one of many such factories. I find it peculiar that 7484 has very limited interest in conversation. How else is it occupying itself? Perhaps I am overthinking this. Dr. Paula Emerson. Addendum. 6 personnel have inexplicably vanished, with the first incident occurring in September, I think? September 14th, 1996. Each individual was out of sight at the time of their disappearance, and in some cases were nearby but merely obstructed when turning a corner or moving behind a machine. The cause of these disappearances remains unknown. Security procedures have since been updated to address this concern. When asked about the disappearances, 7484 responded by stating, accidents happen. Your safety is not of my concern. What an asshole. This fucking guy. What the hell? Wait, what the hell? Oh, what? There's an update to this page. He for real said shit happens. There's an update to this page that upgrades 748 to level 4 containment class Keter. Due to the ongoing nature of SCP-748 containment breach, this document is incomplete and subject to change. Updated by 0512 in Christmas Eve 1999. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-748 and its related anomalies are currently uncontained. Special Containment Procedures are to focus on the apprehension of SCP-748 products and the mitigation of Mammon events. Description. SCP-748 is a factory complex capable of anomalous manufacturing. 748 is not believed to be the only one of its kind and may function in tandem with potential hundreds of such instances. GPS readings recovered from Site-68 revealed scattered pings across all continents but Antarctica. This suggests that SCP-748 may now be merged with these related instances and functioning as a single entity via dimensional anomalies. It is currently unknown when SCP-748 breached containment, but it is hypothesized that Site-68's security became jeopardized shortly after the discovery of SCP-748-84. The Foundation would not become aware of the breach until the first recorded Omega Mammon event, the destruction of Site-68 being a likely Alpha Mammon event. An Alpha Mammon event involves the harvest of materials and their transmutation into saleable products. Resources are gathered by instances of SCP-7485 by any available means and make no distinction between living or non-living matter. SCP-7485 entities appear roughly human but have undergone extensive mechanical and surgical augmentation. Their numbers are unknown, but they are believed to be composed from former workers of SCP-748 and Site-68 personnel. SCP-7485 lacks skin and appear to have undergone a similar process to plastination, but employing a stronger, more flexible material. Attached to the backs of SCP-748 are rusted iron cages, the tops of which are open and apparently designated for the collection of materials. Their left hands have been replaced with tools, most commonly sickles or circular saws. Yo, that's sick! The face has been completely excised, the hollow space housing a flaring horn similar to those used in early phonographs. SCP-7485 are able to render themselves intangible, during which they are unable to interact with the physical world, and are capable of manifesting/demanifesting at any location. This in turn makes it practically impossible to contain a living specimen. Autopsies of deceased subjects suggest that the mechanical components of SCP-7485 self-destruct upon death/disablement of their host, leaving the technology beyond repair and of little to no research value. An Omega Mammon event involves the manifestation of SCP-748 products at retail locations. These objects, as well as the packaging used, have a cognitive influence on employees and owners of affected stores. Retailers are unable to perceive 748 products as unusual or out of place. Money used to purchase these products will vanish the moment that they're placed within a register. Credit or debit cards used for the purchase will have the appropriate amount of money deducted but without any evidence of where the money was transferred. The first Omega Mammon event. Mammon event involved the sudden influx of anomalous objects at retailers within 40 kilometers of SCP-748. Some anomalies appeared intended, while others appeared to be a byproduct of the molecular and existential instability associated with most of SCP-748's creations. Purchased items resulted in 56 casualties, including 33 fatalities, and require an extensive and ongoing cover-up operation. Mammon events have since been reported globally. Site-68 was discovered destroyed and heavily salvaged. Surviving personnel were hostile upon recovery operatives, resulting in the deaths of 9 recovery agents and all 12 Site-68 personnel. Approximately 50 other Site-68 personnel vanished before they could be neutralized. Autopsies revealed significant modifications to Site-68 staff, including chemical treatment, lobotomy, and mechanical augmentation. Site-68 personnel have since been classified as SCP-7485. It is suspected that they were converted at least 2 to 6 years before discovery, during which Site-68 requested and received advanced equipment that has yet to be recovered. It is presently theorized that this was equipment used to repair SCP-748. SCP-748 is currently in a metamorphic state. These shifts lack any recognizable pattern and have resulted in the fatalities of 32 recovery operatives, primarily from being transfigured or incorporated into SCP-748, and through evisceration by the rapid manifestation of pipes and wires. Surveillance has been rendered impossible with CCTV equipment, having been disabled, and remote drones quickly destroyed by shift events. Jesus fucking Christ. The factory basically came alive like Monster House, if you guys have seen that movie. This would be like a cool setting for like a video game. Addendum. Audio data was recovered from what is left of Site-68. Although a part of a CCTV recorded video, the video itself was too distorted to be of any use, but audio proved salvageable and appears to reveal seemingly one-sided conversations by SCP-7484. It is theorized that 7484 is communicating with instances similar to himself throughout the world. It is suspected that Foundation personnel had already been converted to SCP-7485 at the time of these recordings. 7484 has been recovered, stating the following over a period of several months. Wake up, Liverpool. It is time to get back to work. A capital idea will corner the market. Ah, Tokyo, you survived. A pity we slept through the war. It would have been a most profitable venture. Be proud, my friends, for the project moves swiftly. The Infinity Engine has been reactivated. The Crucible demands fresh material. We have long awaited for this. The world will be that of producer and consumer, and those who refused will be industrialized. We are to fulfill our destiny and become one with the free market. Gentlemen, I do declare, we are truly back in business. Yo, that's fucking awesome! It's basically like a combination of Mr. House with, like, the machine for, like, Amnesia, a machine for pigs. Like a living factory that makes, like, nonsense, like, toys and materials, and, like, spawns them around stores. And basically, like, anyone that actually buys any of these things, like, gets killed by these products. That's fucking cool. Okay, I didn't know where this entry was going. But then I opened up, like, that last paragraph, and it's like, ooh, no, this thing has legs. It's like its own, like, video game setting. Imagine playing as, like, a dude trying to survive inside of this, like, living factory. With all these worker drones, like, coming to get you and stuff. And, like, they phase through walls and stuff to try to, like, grab you and use you as, like, material for, like, its products and stuff like that. That's so cool. I like that a lot, actually. Let me read the super chats that have been coming in during the time that I read that SCP entry. Thank you, 44, for the $5. Thank you for the heart emotes. Thank you, Internally Weird, for the $2. Thank you, Wilklord, for the $3. Hey, Phil, sorry for going off topic, but in regards to Fear and Hunger, I wouldn't recommend it due to very poor depictions of SA and kinda shitty gameplay. Yeah, that's kind of the point. The game is supposed to be, like, super hard and, like, disgusting and, like, grimdark. I've been getting recommended that game for months. I'm not gonna, like, not check it out. Hey, Simi Boy, thank you for the $2. The brain reminds me of the doctor from Poppy Playtime. Probably just how it speaks, and the fact that it's an organ in a jar. Yeah, it's like a combination between, like, Poppy Playtime's factory and, what was the thing that I said before? I forgot. Like, it was, Mr. House combined with, yeah, like the Poppy Playtime factory. Thank you, Diamond Soul, for the $2. SCP-610. It's the inspiration for Vita Carnis. Ooh. I'll check that out. Monster House, exactly. Yes. Thank you, Dark Dry Bowser, for the $2. I would like to recommend SCP-999. Alright. Twisted Myth says, remember, Fear and Hunger needs a mod to make it YouTube friendly. Oh yeah, I got the immersive censorship mod, I think. I think that one's gonna like remove all the explicit stuff that would get the stream taken down. Thank you, Luke Nukem, for the $2. SCP-426. It's amazing. I don't think we're gonna be able to do all of these suggestions on this stream, but hopefully I'm able to get through most of them. The Netherlist one donates $2 and says, if no one said it yet, SCP-5000. Alright, I'll write that down. 999, my beloved. Okay, everyone loves 999 for some reason. Yola Dino has been a member for 15 months and says, also, if it has not yet been suggested, I would like to recommend SCP-4999. It's more intriguing than scary, but I think it's a very good one. I'll add that in. Lexia Knight says, didn't Little Nightmares win? Yes, I'm actually waiting for Little Nightmares to release right now, actually. I'll be finishing off the stream once it is time to play that game. Decided might as well do both of them, you know, since I'm gonna be waiting until it actually comes out. Thank you, Tarkat, for the super chat. Throw in SCP-4666 into the pile. The Yuleman. That's an interesting one. Thank you, The Vagardian, for the 8 months. My favorite ever is SCP-093. I highly recommend it. We'll be going through the suggestions and hopefully we'll get to yours. And thank you, Xiang Kase, for the super chat. SCP-001, When Day Breaks, and SCP-5000 are really good too. I'm still waiting for someone to make a cool video game about one of them. Alright, let's speed things up so that we are able to get all the suggestions through. So, Fartface told me to read SCP-3250. 3250. What the fuck is this? What? Wait, what? What? What is this? SCP-3250. Jesus Fried Chicken. What? Alright. SCP-3250. Object Class Safe. Why is there a picture of Colonel Sanders on the right? Special Containment Procedures. A sample of the original Kentucky Fried Chicken 11 secret herbs and spices is to be kept in a standard safe class item locker in Site-88. A digital copy of the recipe is available on the Site-88 database. Widespread reproduction of SCP-3250's effects has been made impossible due to the exclusive rights of Kentucky Fried Chicken to market and sell Kentucky flavored with its trademark secret recipe, as well as the acquisition of the Blank family plantation through a foundation front and the subsequent monopoly established by the Blank variety peppercorn. What the fuck? Apparently the picture on the right says POI 3250, Colonel Harlan David Sanders making a public appearance in December 1974. What the fuck is this? And no, apparently it's not a joke SCP, because the joke SCPs have like /J next to it. This is a legit SCP. What the fuck is this? It's not a J SCP. Public knowledge of the substitution of Kentucky Fried Chicken's secret 11 secret herbs and spices recipe is to be suppressed. Alright, what the fuck? Okay. Listen to this. Description. SCP-3250 is a perpetual anomaly affecting individuals who have consumed pressure-cooked fried chicken seasoned with Kentucky Fried Chicken's proprietary 11 secret herbs and spices. For a period of time after consumption, people affected by the anomaly will perceive depictions of Jesus Christ as being altered to resemble American businessman and restaurateur Colonel Harland David Sanders, clad in his trademark white suit and bolo tie. Altered depictions will be of similar art style to the original. All manner of visual depictions are affected, including secular depictions. The perceived degree of resemblance between depictions of Christ and Colonel Sanders diminishes with time, fading completely after 1 to 2 hours of following the consumption of a typical 3-piece chicken meal. Consuming larger quantities of chicken results in this effect persisting for longer. An upper limit to this effect has been reported at approximately 72 hours following consumption of an entire 20-piece chicken bucket in one sitting. You fucking ate a 20-piece chicken bucket in one sitting? Who the fuck is the madman that did that? Based on analysis of Kentucky Fried Chicken sales and church attendance in the United States, it is estimated that at least 150,000 North Americans have at one time been affected by SCP-3250 since the first reported case of the anomaly in January 1974. Reports of manifestations outside of the North American continent have been sparse, likely due to substitution of the highly perishable and locally sourced blank variety peppercorns used in the seasoning recipe in foreign markets. The majority of SCP-3250 cases are believed to remain unreported due to the temporary nature of the effect, and the natural human tendency to preserve normality and maintain a consensus of reality. What the fuck? It just makes you hallucinate, like, Jesus statues as, like, Colonel Sanders statues? Queso Premium Edition Chicken. History. Prior to identification of its source, knowledge of SCP-3250 was suppressed through localized distribution of amnestics whenever encountered by field agents. This was sufficient to catalyze self-suppression among affected members of the populace. Extensive testing conducted by Site-88 researchers determined the factors for its cause in 1974. Full-scale containment of SCP-3250 was soon enacted, culminating in the infiltration of Kentucky Fried Chicken's Louisville headquarters by a Joint Foundation UIU task force in April 1975. Embedded agents were successful in accessing the locked safe containing the anomalous recipe, and replacing it with a gustatorily similar substitute. Contracts with Griffith Laboratories and McCormick and Company were also altered accordingly by covert agents, allowing the replacement recipe to propagate throughout the North American supply chain in a matter of months. Total containment of SCP-3250 is believed to have been completed by October of the same year. In December 1975, following his public statements on the altered quality of Kentucky Fried Chicken's recipes, Sanders was designated as POI-3250 and placed under covert observation. We gotta put Colonel Sanders in fucking secret observation to make sure he doesn't turn America into a chicken cult. A settlement was privately reached with Sanders in 1976 through Foundation contracts in Yuleman Incorporated, then parent company of Kentucky Fried Chicken, offering a payout of $1 million USD as compensation. Regardless, Sanders continued to publicly denigrate the quality of the Kentucky Fried Chicken's culinary standards, and maintained the assertion that his original recipes had been altered by Yuleman Inc. until his death in 1980. Oh my fucking god. Investigation into Sanders and his association with esoteric clandestine organizations continued until his death in 1980, finding nothing unusual in both his history and former ties. It was concluded that Sanders was neither aware of nor responsible for SCP-3250 phenomena. The fucking god. Colonel Sanders accidentally laced his, fried chicken with a drug that makes people hallucinate him in place of Jesus Christ. Addendum. List of notable SCP-3250 manifestations requiring Foundation suppression. Sighting number 1. Date 1974. Sighting details. 3 patrons of the Blank Church in Biloxi, Mississippi claim to have seen a depiction of Colonel Harlan David Sanders in the stained glass windows of the church. As the sighting was not shared by any other church patrons, it passed without incident. This is the earliest recorded sighting of an SCP-3250 manifestation. Sighting number 12, 1974. Sighting details. 56-year-old Howard Brooks of Hialeah, Florida, reported the theft of a Renaissance-era painting of Jesus Christ in his holiday home and its replacement with a painting in similar style of Colonel Sanders. As the SCP-3250 manifestation was observable only to Brooks alone, it was ignored by local authorities. Subsequent investigation by agents revealed that Brooks had consumed Kentucky Fried Chicken for lunch. A connection was noted between this anomalous occurrence and 11 others, regarding to the UIU's initial classification of the SCP-3250 phenomena. Foundation assistance was later requested due to the scale of the phenomena, which was estimated to be too large to handle with existing UIU resources alone. Sighting number 13, 1974. D01776 was served a 3-piece meal of original recipe Kentucky Fried Chicken and directed to consume it, which she did in one sitting. D-Class was then shown a statue of Christ on the cross and asked to describe it. D-Class reported the statue depicted a crucified... D-Class reported a statue depicted a crucified Colonel Sanders grimacing in pain with boiling palm oil oozing from its wounds. This was the first successful replication of an SCP-3250 manifestation in containment. Efforts to alter the 11 secret herbs and spices recipe began. My fucking god. I'm just imagining crucified Colonel Sanders on the cross. Oh my fucking god. Oh. Sighting number 234, 1974. A group of 12 tourists in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Oh my fucking god! A group of 12 tourists in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, reported the alteration of the statue of Christ the Redeemer into an equally sized statue of Colonel Sanders with arms outstretched and holding a fried chicken drumstick in each hand. Oh my fucking god. Colonel the Redeemer. The tourists were investigated by Foundation agents who learned that they had shared a meal of Kentucky Fried Chicken at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport 2 hours prior to the departure. This is so far the only recorded SCP-3250 manifestation outside the North American continent, and was successfully covered up through the use of Class B anesthetics. My fucking god! Oh. Oh. Okay, keep it together, Phil. Oh, keep it together, Phil. It's alright. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Sighting number 458. July 1974. He died for our sins. Oh. Remember, chill reading. It's supposed to be chill reading. Ooh. Sighting details. In the largest sighting to date, over 100 civilians in the town of Van Gogh, Iowa, reported a 50-foot-high sighting of Colonel Sanders in the sky above their hometown shortly after church service. The apparition remained for 12 minutes before dissipating. It was later determined that Kentucky Fried Chicken had been supplied for mass catering at the church's lunch buffet. This is the largest known sighting to date, occurring shortly before the successful replacement of the original recipe. The resultant mass hysteria caused by the sighting is documented in Incident Report 3250-997. Addendum. Incident Report 3250-927, Level 3 Eyes Only. Incident Summary. Reports of missing truckers in the vicinity of CRW66, Louisa County, Iowa, are traced to the town of Van Gogh, population 146. The responsibility for investigating the disturbance was assigned to the Federal Bureau of Investigations Unusual Incidents Unit. Due to local Foundation resources being diverted to the mass cover-up of SCP-3250 on 09/08/1974, UIU Special Agents C. Lewis and D. Tucker are eventually deployed to the locale. At 9:30 hours, the agents report discovering the wreckages of 7 tractor trailers in a runway truck ramp 1.2 miles from Van Gogh. Investigation reveals the severely burnt and decomposed remains of the missing truckers. Judging from the evidence present, namely char stains on the passenger seat and driver's seat, the lack of any burn damage to the vehicles, signs of forced entry via blunt instruments, and the cinderblock bricks duct taped to the gas pedal of each vehicle, Agent Lewis surmises that the truckers were immolated after exiting their vehicle and placed back into their seats. What the fuck? After which their vehicles were sent on cruise control down the highway until they each crashed into the ramp. At 10:10 hours, Agents Lewis and Tucker report a strong smell of burning oil and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Throughout this, a loud crackling is heard in the background. Agent Tucker claims that the crackling sound is not due to radio static. Radio contact is soon lost. Contact is only re-established 10 minutes later, with severely reduced audio quality. Agent Lewis checks in, reporting that their car was ambushed by an improvised grease-based incendiary trap. and that sporadic gunfire from unseen assailants forced them to abandon their vehicle and proceed on foot. They find shelter in an empty house, further reporting that the majority of houses in Van Gogh appear to be devoid of occupants. Agent Lewis disobeys their direct order to remain in place and leads Agent Tucker on to investigate the situation. They proceed to move from house to house, narrowly avoiding a patrol of men and women clad in golden brown cloaks and armed with hunting rifles. Meanwhile, UIU Local Command links up with the Foundation contacts, explaining the situation. In conjunction with UIU Special Agent K. Milford, MTF P-46 is mobilized to secure the town of Van Gogh. At 10:29 hours, loud crunching noises are heard. Agent Tucker reports that the ground nearer to the town center is covered in deep-fried chicken parts. Upon closer inspection, the chicken parts appear to be carefully arranged so as to point towards the town's Southern Baptist Church. The agents proceed to approach the church to investigate. At 10:34 hours, another set of crunching noises are heard in the distance. Soon, the radio feed is cut. Following this, no further radio contact can be established with either agent. The armed convoy bearing MTF PI-46 sights Van Gogh at 1200 hours, confirming the presence of the crashed tractor trailers and the burnt wreckage of the agent's car. Civilian residents surrenders quickly at the sight of the convoy, believing them to be the National Guard, and are quickly subdued with Class A amnestics. Agents Lewis and Tucker are found alive in a ditch adjacent to the burning church, where they had taken shelter following the detonation of an improvised explosive device. Both agents are treated for minor smoke inhalation but otherwise suffer no injuries. Objects and entities recovered by the patrol include paraphernalia depicting Jesus Christ ranging from pendants to crucifixes, defaced to appear as Colonel Sanders. Handwritten photocopied flyers advertising the Reformed Church of the Colonel. 5 tons of chicken, both raw and deep fried. 2 tons of original recipe 11 secret herbs and spices found stashed in various homes. A marble font equipped with a heater and filled with oil, apparently acting as a deep fat fryer. A King James Bible with the majority of the words blacked out with marker pen. Remaining words describe the 11 secret herbs and spices recipe. Object was located inside a locked safe beneath the pulpit of the local church. A large amount of assorted armaments, including hunting rifles, handguns, homemade incendiary bombs, and 1 leaf blower converted into a spray boiling oil. 146 residents of Van Gogh dressed in golden brown oil-soaked rags, bearing various degrees of burn injuries. They were able to provide consistent details of SCP-3250 sighting 458, but could not remember anything else afterwards. 1 human corpse affixed to a wooden crucifix and coated in deep-fried 11 secret herbs and spices batter. Corpse was an identical visual match for Colonel Harland David Sanders, who was at the time alive and under Foundation surveillance in Abbeville, Louisiana. Genetic sampling of the corpse returns a perfect match for Gallus domesticus, the domestic chicken. Origins of corpse and reason for its genetic makeup remain unknown. What the fuck? Okay, it started out goofy and then it got creepy. Eason says deep frying someone must have hurt as fuck. Yeah, no, but it's a corpse whose genetic makeup is exactly that of a chicken. What the fuck does that mean? Did the secret herbs and spices turn the man into a chicken? Was he like the origin of the cult? What the fuck is happening here? Chicken Man. That's cool. Okay, so it started out really goofy, but then it got dangerous really fast. What the fuck? Fartface donates $2 and says, I love how it turns into RE4 at the end there. Yeah, no. It starts out as like a joke SCP and then it becomes like the Resident Evil 4 village. What the fuck? Okay, but for real, is it tasty? I'm not gonna taste that. Maybe a little. I don't know. If they were like this into it. Yeah, I can tell the writer of this was like a huge Resident Evil 4 fan. Like that SCP village, like of the damned, like Kentucky Fried Chicken cult. What the fuck? Thank you, the Cosmic Big Smoke, for the super chat. I have an SCP to recommend. SCP-4999, Someone to Watch Over Us. It's a short one, but it's beautifully bittersweet. Alright, 2 people have recommended the same SCP, so I think I might as well try that one, like, next up. I will do that, like, as the next SCP that we're gonna be looking at. Thank you, Insane Clef Main, for the super chat. Colonel Sanders Jesus should fight Guy Fieri, the Antichrist. Thank you, Lulu Lovescast, for the membership. And thank you, Nano Alcove, for the $2. What the actual flip? Alright. Let's check out. Next up is SCP-4999. SCP-4999. Someone to Watch Over Us. Huh? Item 4999. Level 3 Confidential. Containment Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Due to SCP-4999's unwillingness or inability to appear before more than one person at a time, in addition to the subsequent and immediate death of any who witness it firsthand, SCP-4999 is effectively self-containing. Any reports of SCP-4999 manifestations captured by security camera feeds, photographs, or similar are to be investigated and the media confiscated for analysis. All second-hand witnesses among the civilian populace are to be amnesticized. Description: SCP-4999 is a humanoid entity of unknown origins and composition. Its physical appearance varies, with dark formal wear being the only constant between manifestations. Due to the rarity of recorded SCP-4999 manifestation events and the highly specific circumstances in which they occur, little data concerning its nature or intent is available. However, its behavior is consistent across all recorded sightings. SCP-4999 will manifest only in the presence of one solitary human person at a time. All subjects recorded to date have been in terminally poor health, critically injured, or on their deathbeds, with SCP-4999 appearing nearby and within sight of the individual not more than 20 minutes before their expiration. SCP-4999 will only appear if the subject is conscious and alone. It will not appear if the subject is comatose, asleep, or unconscious. Nor will it appear if they are being cared for by, in the company of, or otherwise being directly observed by another person. Huh? Upon manifestation, the entity will seat itself directly adjacent to the subject's bed, if such furniture is available. If not, it will remain standing, or sit on the floor/ground, in whatever configuration will allow it direct physical access to the subject without causing disturbance. Once situated, it will remove a pack of cigarettes from its left inside jacket pocket and offer one to the subject. If the subject accepts, SCP-4999 will place it between their lips, remove one for itself, and light both. If the subject declines, 4999 will light and smoke the cigarette instead. The entity will make physical contact with the subject, typically via holding their hand, placing its hand atop theirs, or resting its hand on their shoulder. 4999 will then remain with the subject, silent and unmoving, until they have passed away. 4999 has not been seen to engage in any other activity or behavior, and demanifests immediately upon the subject's death. The subject's cigarette, however, will remain, providing the only physical evidence of SCP-499's presence. No subject thus far has been seen to recoil from or otherwise resist the entity, nor have any attempted to engage it in conversation. Despite multiple instances of subjects acknowledging the entity's presence via eye contact, adjusting posture to reciprocate or facilitate the entity's touch, breaking into tears when noticing its presence, or verbally thanking the entity when offered a cigarette. Individuals affected by SCP-499 share a number of common attributes. Researched into identified subjects that indicated that SCP-4999 is more likely to appear if an individual lives alone, is non-religious, is impoverished or homeless, displays a history of mental illness, is a military veteran, has no criminal record or has never been convicted of a violent crime, has no currently surviving family, is unmarried or otherwise lacks a significant other, has little to no social standing in their community, does not exhibit any record of significant professional or personal accomplishments, has few to no mutually beneficial interpersonal relationships, or exhibits qualities and life history that have rendered the individual nondescript, anonymous, neglected, or otherwise unremarkable or insignificant by the standards of their respective society. Oh, I see what this is. No testing involving SCP-4999 has been authorized or attempted, due to available data indicating that observation of a subject precludes its manifestation, as well as ethical concerns. Discovery: 4999 was initially discovered as the result of its emerging status as an urban legend, with footage of the entity appearing on hospital security cameras worldwide being disseminated via the internet and various television programs. A minor disinformation program was put into effect to maintain this public image, and SCP-4999 was officially registered on November 27, 1998. In the years following 4999's classification, additional research and cross-referencing with accounts of similar phenomena have suggested that while concrete evidence of 4999 appearances has become more commonplace due to the advent of photography and video recording technology in the modern era, writings and artistic depictions of a figure exhibiting similar properties and behavior and physical appearance to 4999 exist throughout world history, culture, and mythology, with some accounts being thousands of years old, in some cases predating human civilization. It is not currently understood how pre-modern cultures would have been capable of detecting SCP-4999's presence. Investigation is ongoing. Oh. It appears so the person doesn't die alone. It is some kind of spirit or entity that is exclusive to appear to people that have been completely left behind by society. Like, it's not the Grim Reaper. Like, most depictions of the Grim Reaper is like an evil skeleton with a scythe that comes and like takes your soul away. No, it's more like a friend. It's more like the universe creating a friend for you to be comforted by before you pass away. If the universe has not provided you a friend in your life, like your day-to-day life, if you've been alone all your life, if you had not had any friends or spouses, if in general your life had amounted to nothing, the universe provides you with this, like, entity to comfort you in your final moments before you die. That's really fucking cool, man. It's depressing, but, like, comforting at the same time. Because it basically tells you that even if you don't end up achieving anything, or you believe that you're a failure, or that you're, like, a reject of society, the universe will still provide you with some comfort at the end. That's really cool, but also sad. Aww. A companion at the end of the journey. Even if the journey didn't end up amounting to much, you still get something at the end. Aww. That's really cool, man. That's really good writing. It doesn't present itself as dangerous or like evil or like anything like that. It's just there to provide comfort at the end of your life. It doesn't even mess with recordings or anything. Like, it doesn't care. It's just there to provide comfort at the end of people's lives. Aww. Nova says, 4999 is like a psychopomp. He's there to help guide those to the afterlife. Also, there are many versions of the Grim Reaper / Death that is kind of just not something to fuck with. One of my favorite SCPs. I love this one because it doesn't present itself as anything morbid or horrifying. It's more like bittersweet, you know? It's very clearly weird and, like, anomalous, but it doesn't want to end humanity or anything like that. It's just there as, like, a natural fact of the universe. Meant to, like, almost be merciful to, like, people. That's really cool. Thank you, the Cosmic Big Smoke, for the super chat. Like I said, it's beautifully bittersweet. Absolutely. Thank you, Boo Man, for the super chat. Have a nice read, Phil and chat. I'm just here to bust my paycheck and go back to sleep. Gotta watch the stream later. You don't recognize bodies in water. What? Thank you, Boo Man. If you want, you can use the stream as background noise to help you sleep. I mean, that's kind of the point of chill reading. You're supposed to put this on in the background and just relax while I read whatever the fuck, so if you want me to help you sleep a little bit, just put this on in the background. I promise I'm not gonna scream. I might laugh a little if I have to read another Colonel Sanders Jesus Christ entry, but I'm trying my best not to, like, raise my voice, you know? Thank you, Mac, for the super chat. Would like to recommend SCP-1459, The Puppy Machine, or SCP-1230, A Hero is Born, if neither have been brought up. They have not, but I still got a huge pile of suggestions that I have to try first. So, let's go through those. Can we do 999 next, please? Alright. Multiple people have recommended me 999, so let's do SCP-999 next. Also, thank you, Icarus, for the super chat. I want to put my 2 cents in and say I really like SCP-5094. Alright, I'll put that on the list as well. Let us continue with SCP-999. What the hell is this gonna be? Okay, the title is already weird. So, Next up is SCP-999, the Tickle monster. Okay. Item SCP-999. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-999 is allowed to freely roam the facility should it desire to, but otherwise must stay in its pen either between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for sleeping, or during emergency lockdowns for its own safety. Subject is not allowed out of its pen at night or off facility grounds at any time. Pen is to be kept clean and food replaced twice daily. All personnel are allowed inside SCP-999's holding area, but only if they are not assigned to other tasks at the time, or if they are on break. Subject is to be played with when bored and spoken to in a calm, non-threatening tone. Description: SCP-999 appears to be a large, amorphous, gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime, weighing in at about 54 kilograms, or 120 pounds, with a consistency similar to that of peanut butter. Oh! Subject's size and shape is easily malleable, and can change shape at will. Though, when at rest, SCP-999 becomes a rounded, oblate dome, roughly 2 meters wide and 1 meter in height. The surface of SCP-999 consists of a thin, transparent membrane similar to that of an animal cell, roughly 0.5 centimeters thick, and is highly elastic, allowing SCP-999 to flatten portions of its body up to 2 centimeters thin. This surface is also hydrophobic, although SCP-999 can willfully absorb liquids. The rest of SCP-999's body is filled with a viscous orange substance of unknown chemical makeup, though it is capable of digesting organic materials with ease. Subject's temperament is best described as playful and dog-like. When approached, SCP-999 will often react with overwhelming elation, slithering over to the nearest person and leaping upon them, hugging them with a pair of pseudopods, while nuzzling the person's face with a third pseudopod, all the while emitting a high-pitched gurgling and cooing noises. The surface of SCP-999 emits a pleasing odor that differs with whomever it is interacting with. Recorded scents include chocolate, fresh laundry, bacon roses, and Play-Doh. Simply touching SCP-999's surface causes an immediate mild euphoria, which intensifies the longer one is exposed to SCP-999 and lasts long after separation from the creature. Subject's favorite activity is tickle wrestling, often by completely enveloping a person from the neck down and tickling them until asked to stop, though it does not always immediately comply with this request. Though injuries may occur, SCP-999 has never been found to purposefully attempt to harm others, and will immediately back away and contract its body into a quivering mound while gurgling in a manner similar to a whimpering dog, seemingly apologizing for hurting someone on accident. Oh, the baby! The baby boy! While the creature will interact with anyone, it seems to have a special interest in those who are unhappy or hurt in any way. Persons suffering from crippling depression or PTSD, for example, have reported having a far more positive outlook on life after multiple interactions with SCP-999. The possibility of manufacturing antidepressants from SCP-999 slime is currently being discussed. In addition to its playful behavior, SCP-999 seems to love all animals, especially humans, refusing to eat any meat and even risking its own life to save others. on one occasion leaping in front of a person to take a bullet fired at them. Subject's intellect is still up for debate. Though its behavior is infantile, it seems to understand human speech and most modern technology, including guns. SCP-999's diet consists entirely of candy and sweets, with M&Ms and Necco wafers being its favorites. Its eating methods are similar to those of an amoeba. Addendum SCP-999-A. Reminder to all staff. SCP-999 is not to consume caffeinated soft drinks of any kind. Last week, someone gave SCP-999 a can of cola along with its usual breakfast. Not only was it literally bouncing off the walls for half an hour, the carbonation made SCP-999 visibly queasy afterwards, and it refused to move or eat the rest of the day. SCP-999 has thankfully recovered since, but the staff member in question has been reprimanded. Dr. Blank. SCP-999-B. Addendum. The following is a report from an experiment in which SCP-682 is exposed to SCP-999. Oh, the lizard! In hopes that it will curb the creature's omnicidal rage. Oh shit. What happens if the happiest thing alive interacts with the most angry lizard ever? SCP-999 is released into SCP-682's containment area. SCP-999 immediately slithers towards the lizard. What? 999 elated gurgles. The lizard responds with, "The fuck is that?" SCP-999 moves in front of SCP-682, jumping up and down in a dog-like manner while calling out in a high-pitched squealing noise. 682 groans and says, "Disgusting." 682 immediately steps on 999, completely flattening 999. Observers were about to abort the experiment when 682 started talking again. What is this? I feel good. SCP-999 can be seen crawling up from between 682's toes, up along its side and around its neck, where it clings on and begins gently nuzzling with its pseudopod. A wide grin slowly spreads across 682's face. I feel so happy. 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 The lizard repeats the word happy for several minutes, laughing occasionally before escalating into non-stop laughter. As laughter continues, 682 rolls around on its back, slamming its tail upon the floor with dangerous force. Stop! No tickling! The lizard and SCP-999 continue the tickle fight until 682 finally wears down and appears to fall asleep with what would appear to be a smile on its face. After 15 minutes with no activity, 2 D-Class personnel enter the room to retrieve 999. When SCP-999 is removed, 682 immediately wakes up and unleashes an unidentifiable wave of energy from its body, all the while laughing maniacally. All persons within the wave's range collapse into crippling fits of laughter, allowing 682 to escape and slaughter everyone in its path. Oh my fucking god. Meanwhile, 999 quickly rescues as many persons as it can, taking them to a safe space to recover from 682's laughter wave. while agents suppress and recontain 682. Despite the tragedy that 682 had brought upon the facility, 999 has not shown any fear towards the creature, and in fact has made gestures suggesting it wants to play with 682 again. However, the lizard has stated, "That feculent little fuck can..." Oh my fucking god! "And die." Jesus Christ, dude. Memo from Dr. Blank. While the test was unsuccessful and ended in tragedy, that had to be the funniest fucking thing I have ever seen. I never thought I'd see the day when I would regard 682 as cute. Please send me a copy of the security tapes as soon as possible. They were so close. They were so close to getting that fucking lizard to, like, give up. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. I can assume that it adapted and, like, will not be affected by 999 again after that, right? That's really fucking good, actually. I love that. So close, yet so far. Alright. Thank you, Nova, for the $5. I suggest 073, 076, as they are Bible Cain and Abel respectively. Then, their story may be God will forgive you if we both beg. It's really bittersweet. That sounds a bit too long. How much time do I have until I have to do Little Nightmares 3? Currently, it's 5:12 for me right now. And I have to end the stream at around, I think, an hour? Yeah, we currently have an hour and like 15 minutes left before we have to switch on over to Little Nightmares 3. So let's get through as many suggestions as we can before we have to end the stream. Thank you, Dociomal, for the super chat. 999 also has an interaction with 682. And by the way, I also recommend 079, which is basically Painter. Interesting. Alright. Let's get through the initial super chats before we go into any of those. Let's see. Next one by Ukes will be SCP-2521. Let's see. Not available? Declassified. Apparently SCP-2521 was declassified. Why? What the hell? Yeah, I can't find it. Let me go over to the manual, like... 2521. What? Did it get taken down for some reason? 2521. Oh, I see why. Yeah, I can't really read this one. It's the SCP that you can't really read because it's supposed to be... The entry is supposed to be made up of images. Yeah, I can't really read this entry. Sorry about that, Ukes. Yeah, that one is really cool, though. I recommend you guys go check it out. It's basically an SCP that is formatted in images, because any actual text logs of that SCP will make it appear and, like, kill the person that is, like, reading the entry of that SCP. If you say it, it takes you. Exactly. Really cool concept for a wiki entry, though. Let's see... Yeah, a lot of people are saying I should check out 2521. Okay, so next suggestion is by Lord Darner, who says, you should check out 2295. Please read 2295. SCP-2295, The Bear with a Heart of Patchwork. Interesting. Item number SCP-2295. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-2295 is to be kept in a standard containment locker within Storage Wing 25 in Site-37. Personnel with Level 3 or higher security clearance are authorized to perform tests on SCP-2295 after filling out the appropriate paperwork. Please contact Dr. Gurgis if required access to SCP-2295 is expected to exceed 24 hours. Description: SCP-2295 is a patchwork stuffed bear, approximately 0.46 meters in height from head to foot, and stuffed with a synthetic fiber cotton. SCP-2295 has a small, anatomically correct pin of a heart on the left side of its thorax, and a bow wrapped around its neck. The fabric and color of SCP-2295's patches vary. Tests confirm that no components of SCP-2295 contain any anomalous chemical properties. SCP-2295 enters an active state when within 2 meters of a human sustaining major trauma to an organ. When in the proximity of 2 or more possible subjects, 2295 will invariably choose the youngest subject. 2295 will anomalously produce scissors, white thread, and either sewing needles or a crocheting hook from its mouth, and use any fabric or stuffing in close proximity to fashion an instance of SCP-2295-1, a patchwork imitation of the subject's organ. What the fuck? SCP-2295-1 vanishes from sight, and the subject falls into a state of unconsciousness. SCP-2295's 1 instances then replace the subject's damaged organ via anomalous means. The whereabouts of organs replaced this way are undetermined. If there is no usable material in close proximity, SCP-2295 will use fabric or stuffing from itself. SCP-2295 regenerates 1 gram of stuffing every day until completely replacing any lost or used stuffing. Note that fabric used this way does not regenerate. An additional fabric must be placed near SCP-2295 for the purpose of self-mending. Instances of these fabric organs successfully carry out their respective functions despite numerous expected biological, chemical, and medical incompatibilities. Once within the subject, adjacent tissues and veins will attach to the imitated organ without observable complications. There have been no cases of rejected SCP-2295-1 instances, and all subject recorded at the time of writing made full recoveries. Oh. So it's like a teddy bear that uses fabric and stuffing to make, like, fake organs that keep people alive. It's like a medic. It's like a autonomous, like, living teddy bear medic. Interesting. A surgeon teddy bear. Yeah. Test log 2295. Testing approved to test the limitations of 2295. Materials provided within testing chamber. Subject 22353, 38 years old. Diagnosis: Lungs heavily damaged as a result of 25 years of smoking. Notes: SCP-2295 creates 2295-1 using 1 black textile swatch and 1 red textile swatch. New lungs act at a capacity similar to those of healthy adult lungs. Huh. So it's not even injuries. It can detect organs that are not functioning properly due to misuse. Wait, could it replace a human brain? If, like, you have a tumor in the brain, will it, like, replace your brain with a fabric-like brain? Subject: D3452, 50 years old. Diagnosis: frequent heart palpitations and severe atherosclerosis. Notes: SCP-2295 crochets SCP-2295-1 using various surrounding urns. SCP-2295-1 observed to have a heartbeat before vanishing. Transfer successful. How SCP-2295-1 manages to perform function despite absorbent properties of material and multiple gaps in design is unknown. Symptoms no longer present in the subject. Subject D7894, 24 years old. Diagnosis: first and second degree burns ranging throughout upper torso, left lateral, and right leg. D7894 sedated during testing. Notes: SCP-2295 sews 2 5x5 meter sections of patchwork fabric. SCP-2295 cuts approximately sized swatches and manually places one layer onto subjects' affected areas, creating multiple instances of SCP-2295-1, and then repeats this process. The created SCP-2295-1 layers act as dermis and epidermis, and, upon recovery, D7894 claims to have retained feeling in replaced skin. Subject makes full discovery. Oh. So you end up with, like, patchwork skin. Oh. Subject D2723, 18 years old. Diagnosis: cerebral hemorrhaging. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Notes: SCP-2295 grasps various materials in its proximity in a distressed state for approximately 1 minute. SCP-2295 then anomalously produces a Hershey's Dove Milk Chocolate King-size candy bar and offers it to the subject. SCP-2295 spends rest of test embracing subject's lower right leg while anomalously producing a saline solution from its eyes. Oh, it's crying. They can't help this one, so it gave them a chocolate and then, like, cried next to him. Aww. Saline solution. Yeah, that's just crying, man. They can't help. So, it can try to help as much as it can, but it can't replace a brain. It can't replace, like, something that makes you you. They can't replace a brain. Aww. And if it can't help the subject, it will just start crying and, like, try to do anything it can to, like, make them feel better before they pass away. Aww. Addendum 2295. Document 2295 was recovered, taped to SCP-2295 inside the site of a crashed mail delivery vehicle. Document 2295 is a red Get Well card with the text, Kairos the Bear, written on the front cover. Contents of Document 2295. To Tommy, because only time can mend all wounds. Love, Grammy. Oh, from Grandma. It's like a cursed bear created by like a grandma to like her grandson. And the bear came alive and it's just trying to help it the best it can. Oh, just a helpful little guy. I'm starting to find a pattern to the kinds of SCPs that you people like. For some reason, you people tend to really, really like either weird, funny shit, weird cults, or things that make you want to cry. My followers have like a very specific type of SCP that they like. The ones that tug them at their like heartstrings. Aww. Perfect balance, I suppose. Yeah, exactly. Let me see the super chats. Thank you, Xiang Kase, for the super chat. Can you read SCP-5000 next? And by the way, SCP-682 and 999 are brothers alongside other SCPs. And they're kids of the Scarlet King, a cool SCP-001 proposal. Huh. I'm not really sure what's going on with the larger SCP lore universe thing. I just like to read the individual entries. Let's try out... maybe 5000 could be good. I've seen, yeah, the Netherlist one also suggested SCP-5000. SCP-5000, SCP-5000. Alright. Since we got, like, still around an hour left, let's try out SCP-5000. Or did I already read this one? Oh, that's a long boy. Have I already read 5000? What is it, Phil? According to the page, SCP-5000 is called Y. SCP-5000 is pretty long. I think I would rather, like, read shorter ones, because I don't want the rest of the stream to be dedicated to a single SCP, you know? The Netherlist one donates $5 and says, there's also a video game based on SCP-5000 called SCP-5K. Highly recommend. Let's try to read some shorter ones to make sure that we have some variety on the stream. Okay? I will try to avoid the long boys. Alright, 25, 21, 22, 95. Let's see, SCP-4666. The Yuleman. Yeah, this one can work. Item number, SCP-4666. Object class, Heater. Special containment procedures. Web traffic and law enforcement channels worldwide are to be monitored for evidence of SCP-4666 activity, and particularly for cases of stalking or reports of anomalous phenomena involving families with young children. Should a Wisnack event be suspected to be in progress, the nearest containment task force is to be dispatched to attempt containment of SCP-4666. Standard PDP V3 Humanoid First Contact protocols apply. Media coverage of family deaths attributed to SCP-4666 is to be suppressed or falsified to make said deaths appear as non-anomalous home invasion murders. Forensic evidence and SCP-4666-A instances collected by non-Foundation agencies are to be confiscated and witnesses amnesticized. Description: SCP-4666 is currently believed to be a single, exceptionally long-lived humanoid entity of unknown origin. Survivors of Weishnek events typically described 4666 as very tall, between 2 meters and 2.3 meters. An elderly male of European descent, with an extremely emaciated appearance. The entity always appears completely naked, even when observed outdoors in freezing weathers. Though the nature and extent of its anomalous properties remain uncertain, SCP-4666 appears capable of instantaneous or near-instantaneous travel to any location north of 40 degrees north latitude, and possibly to any location on Earth. SCP-4666 activity occurs exclusively within a period of 12 consecutive nights every year, from the night of December 21st to 22nd to the night of January 1st to 2nd. This period is known as SCP-4666 active phase. During this phase, in what are termed the Weishnek events, SCP-4666 will appear at dwellings in one or multiple locations north of 40 degrees north latitude. In all known Weishnek events, these dwellings have shared the following characteristics. 1. An isolated rural location. 2. Home to a family with at least one child under the age of 8. 3. Situated in an area with snow cover lasting throughout the duration of the event. Oh, it's basically Krampus? Weishnek events consist of the following general progression. Nights 1 through 7, children will report seeing SCP-4666 in the vicinity of their family's dwelling. The entity will typically be observed watching the dwelling from a distance, such as across from a nearby field or from the edge of a neighboring forest. In some cases, the children will report waking up at night to find SCP-4666 watching them sleep through a window. Nights 8 through 11. Family members, including the parents, will report sounds of footsteps coming from the roof or the attic. An extremely unpleasant odor will also frequently be noticed inside the dwelling. No cause for these phenomena will be found. As a result, parents will often begin to suspect that their family is being stalked, or even that their dwelling might be haunted. Night 12. Over the course of the night, one of two scenarios will occur. The first and most common is that 4666 will kill all members of the family, save for one child under the age of 8, whom it will abduct. SCP-4666 will inflict incapacitating injuries to family members while they're sleeping, then hurt them into a single room of the dwelling, where it will proceed to kill them in view of each other. The method of killing varies with the event, and will typically be preceded by some form of torture, which appears to serve a ritualistic purpose. In the second scenario, which has occurred in roughly 15% of known Weishnek events, SCP-4666 will not harm the family. The family members will report hearing footsteps inside their dwelling during the night, though no signs of forced entry will be found. In the morning, children will discover presents at the foot of their beds. These will consist of toys crudely crafted from the remains of human children. Oh my fucking god! It's like fucked up evil Santa Claus. Ugh. Merry Christmas. The criteria, if any, by which SCP-4666 determines the outcome of a Weishnek event are unknown. So it follows its own weird version of morality to decide what happened? Okay, we got notable Wyshnek events. The first one is unknown village in Croatia, circa 1498. Description of the Wyshnek event. An entire family was killed, with the exception of one of the children, who was abducted. Though specific details about the event are not available in recovered documents, it was noted that the killings presented a strong paganistic element, and that the family members had been made sure to suffer greatly prior to death. The archbishop who oversaw the investigation wrote that he believed the family had been killed as part of a demonic ritual. Next up, unknown village, Rupert's Land, 1689. An entire family was killed, with the exception of two of the children, one of whom was abducted, and one of whom escaped during the killings and was able to reach a nearby village. She told authorities that a naked man had broken into her family's dwelling during the night and proceeded to torture them. Upon investigation, the bodies of the family members were found inside of their dwelling, hanging upside down from the ceiling. All had been exsanguinated. What the fuck is that word? Let me check it out. Exsanguinated. Oh, to drain them of their blood. Ooh. Next one is Eichstätt, Germany, 1913. An entire family was killed, with the exception of the youngest child, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 5 other children were found inside a stable adjoining their dwelling. They had been restrained by having knives, pitchforks, and other sharp implements forced through their palms of their hands and into the walls of the stable, before having their tongues removed, leading to hemorrhaging and death. Blood from the family members had then been used to paint elaborate patterns of unknown meaning on the hides of the mule, goat, and 2 cows present in the stable. The animals themselves were not harmed. Neighbors told authorities that in the week preceding the killings, the father of the family had mentioned finding tracks in the snow around the family's dwelling, which appeared to have been made by bare human feet. This thing is fucking hardcore, dude. Next up was in Playos, Soviet Union, 1956. In this one, an entire family was killed, with the exception of the youngest child, age 4, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 1 other child were found in the living room of their house. They had been restrained and their feet held over the flames in the fireplace for an extended period of time, calcinating the tissues of the feet and exposing the bones. They then had their heads crushed with an unknown heavy implement. Hundreds of bite marks, believed to have been inflicted post-mortem, were found on each of the bodies. Branches cut from a fir tree outside of the house had also been placed over the bodies, to unknown purpose. Ugh. So it's always the youngest getting taken? Yes. And then made into weird gifts for, like, the surviving families. What the hell? Penultimate one in Skudenshavn, Norway, 1971. An entire family was killed with the exception of the second youngest child, age 5, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 2 other children were found in the basement of their house. Each had at least 1 limb pulled off by brute force before being stabbed precisely 39 times with an unknown sharp implement, possibly a piece of bone from one of the removed limbs, resulting in massive blood loss and death. The family members had then been eviscerated and their small and large intestines removed and cut into a 30 to 50 centimeter long pieces. These had then been arranged into radiating lines around the bodies. Feces from the intestines had been used to trace symbols of unknown meaning on the walls of the basements. This shit this shit feels like something that Carl would do, like when they're bored in a Christmas night. Carl, why did you go to Norway and stab the families 39 times in the chest, Carl? Carl, stop using their feces to write satanic symbols on the walls, Carl. Why did you do that? Just imagining like a llama wearing like a naked human suit and just stalking random families around Europe. Anyways. Carl, why did you do that to people? Anyways. The last incident is in Egilsstaðir, Iceland, 1996. Damn, how did that poop get there? I fucking love llamas with hats, dude. It's like one of my favorite YouTube series. Alright. 1996. An entire family was killed, with the exception of the youngest child, female age 4, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 7 other children were found inside their house. All had large pieces of skin removed from their backs, necks, and groins prior to death. They had then been killed by decapitation with a box saw that had belonged to the family. Following death, the family members' bodies had been carried to their respective rooms and placed on their beds. Each of the removed heads had also been placed upright on a step of the staircase leading from the first to the second floor, with the parents' heads on the top 2 steps and the children's heads on the lower steps, in decreasing order of age. I'm just gonna like open one of these like logs and have like the dude like cut off the family's faces and then like prop them up with like helium balloons and like just floating around the house. Carl, why did you put the human faces on the balloons? Carl, that's really dark, Carl. Alright. Apparently, these are notable SCP-466-A instances recovered. Location: Nurms, Finland, 1811. Description of SCP-466-A instance. A small wooden drum with 2 wooden drumsticks of uneven length. Drum skin consists of a 390 centimeter cubed piece of skin belonging to a human child, stretched with thread made from human. This is just Carl shit. I'm sorry. This is just all the creepiness and darkness of this like SCP has been completely tainted by me just imagining like the fucking llama doing this. This is literally just what Carl would do. Gallagher, Wales, 1857. A small knife, 15 centimeters in length, sculpted from a single piece of bone belonging to a human child. Symbols of unknown meaning have been carved into the blade. Yeah, no, this is just classic Carl shit. Makat, Kazakhstan, 1903. A flute made from the hollowed-out femur of a human child. Holes have been bored at uneven intervals along its length. The femur appears to have been dyed with human blood. Man, that's classic Carl shit. Bangor, Michigan, 1960. A wooden box containing 13 miniature human-like figures, each 4 to 6 centimeters in height, made from the phalangeal bones of human children, tied together with strips of human tendon. The figurines have been decorated with human hair and small pieces of torn clothing. DNA testing revealed that the remains belonged to 18 separate children. Cape Broyle, Canada, 1976. A ball, 23 centimeters in diameter, made from 19 layers of human skin wrapped tightly around the desiccated head of an unidentified human child. Layers of skin are held in place with pine resin. I know this is like morbid and dark and awful and stuff like that, and people will probably be made like really like, oh my god, that's so creepy and morbid and dark, but it's like, I'm just imagining this naked dude very carefully making all these toys with like a spool of thread, and he's just like, yes, I will create these toys. They will be so happy. The good children will be so happy with these silly little toys. And it's like, where are his hands, Carl? I had a craving that only children's skin could satisfy. Listen, man, sometimes people have their hyperfixations. And sometimes people are hyperfixated with, like, cartoon horses, and sometimes they want to make toys out of human children's skin. Like, you know, everyone has their hyperfixations, man. You don't have to judge like that. You don't have to be so judgy. Oh my god. I'm thinking that if you just, like, approach this dude outside of December, like, he's probably just a chill dude, you know? He just has a hobby. Are you really gonna judge him for having a hobby? Are you gonna really be like that judgmental, dude? What the fuck? Bard, Netherlands, 2006. A hairbrush. The handle is made of wood and poorly carved. Wow, poorly carved? You're insulting his handiwork? What the fuck, dude? Like, if the dude manages to read this entry, he's probably gonna, like, burst into tears. He's like, what do you mean poorly carved? Oh my god, he probably spends, like, the rest of the year doing these things, and, like, he's probably, like, really proud of them. What the fuck? Bro worked hard on that. A hairbrush. The handle is made of wood and very poorly carved. In place of bristles, 43 deciduous human teeth have been set at irregular intervals into the handle. DNA testing revealed that each tooth belongs to a different child. Teeth vary in age from a few days to over 400 years. Damn, dude! This is literally a 400-year-old, like, fucking hairbrush, and you're gonna call it poorly made? Damn! Let's finish reading this. I'm sorry, this is like a really morbid and cool SCP idea, but the way that this was written just made me think of, like, this dude as, like, just like he's just trying his best, you know? He's just trying his best to make, like, cool little presents. The disrespect is fucking crazy. Discovery. SCP-4666's existence and ongoing activity were first detected in 1974 through the Foundation's newly implemented anomalous signature recognition program, when several highly similar home invasion incidents resulting in family deaths were found to have occurred throughout the Northern Hemisphere during the night of January 1st to 2nd. Extensive research into civilian and law enforcement archives worldwide eventually uncovered evidence of probable Weishnek events for nearly every preceding year, going back into the late 18th century. Numerous historical documents were also found which appear to describe SCP-4666 activity occurring prior to this period, in some cases as early as the 2nd century AD in Europe and Russia, and as early as the 1st century BC in Scandinavia. Fingerprints belonging to the same humanoid entity have been discovered at the locations of all Foundation-investigated Weishnek events. These have been matched to a partial fingerprint found preserved in dried blood on a recovered 4666A instance dating from 1873. The fingerprints present characteristics not known to occur in human beings. Human-like white hairs were also recovered from the locations of several Weishnek events, though no DNA, human or otherwise, could be extracted from them. Addendum 4666-01. In 2018, several SCP-4666-A instances were discovered at a family's residence in Hoona, Alaska, following the conclusion of Weishnek Event 060198. Among these instances was SCP-4666-A-0960, which consisted of a crude... Again, come on, dude, I'm getting insulted by this. consisted of a crude, life-size doll made from emaciated body of a female child, to which the following modifications had been made. A dress made from various pieces of dirty, discolored clothing had been sewn around the body, in several places into the body's skin. The mouth had been sewn shut with thread made from human tendons, and the lips painted red with a solution consisting primarily of human blood. The fingernails of another child had been glued over the body's fingernails with pine resin. These had been painted red with the same human blood-based solution. 3 of the body's fingers were missing. The entire scalp had been removed from the head, and the scalp of another child with long blonde hair sewn onto the head in its place. The hair had been tied into 2 braids. Both eyes had been removed, and 2 large round pebbles on which eyes had been crudely painted placed into the empty orbits. Upon examination by the family, the child from whom the doll had been made was found to still be alive, albeit unconscious. Authorities were notified, and the child was airlifted to Barley Regional Hospital in Juneau, Alaska, where she survived 18 hours. The Foundation agents were dispatched and were able to interview the subject. Following the subject's death, her body was confiscated by the agents, and all witnesses amnesticized as per standard procedure. DNA testing revealed the subject had been Ekaterina Morozova, age 7, a known abduction victim of SCP-4666 taken from her family's residence in Dubovka, Russia in 2016. Autopsy of the subject's body showed that she had been severely malnourished during the 2 years following her abduction, which had resulted in considerable stunting. Weight was only 15 kilograms, height was only 19 centimeters. A number of scars and burns were present on her skin, and she had suffered 2 bone fractures that had not been reset and had healed improperly. Hands were heavily calloused. Cause of death was attributed to multiple organ failure from severe sustained malnourishment. Ooh, we got an interview. Audio log 4666. Date 2018. Location Barley Regional Hospital, Alaska. Agent Anthony Kowalski. Agent Susan Muse attending. Subject Ekaterina Morozova. Female, age 7. Notes. The subject regained consciousness for a period roughly 30 minutes prior to expiring, during which she was interviewed. Hospital staff had previously removed the thread that had been sewn into her lips, allowing her to speak. Despite having been administered a morphine drip, the subject was largely coherent throughout the interview. The subject did not understand English and initially spoke only a language that was unfamiliar to agents Kowalski and Muse. However, after several minutes, the subject began addressing the agents in Russian, which she spoke poorly. Agent Kowalski, who spoke rudimentary Russian, was able to conduct the interview without need for an interpreter. Begin log. Agent Kowalski. Hello, I'm Anthony. What's your name? EM. Are you going to take me back to him? No, I promise. I'm just here to talk to you. EM says, I don't want to go back. You don't have to. You're safe now, Mishka. Can you tell me what happened to you? Do you remember the night he came to your house? I remember. He hurt Mama and Papa and Katya and Juliana for a long time, and they were bleeding. After they stopped screaming, he put me in his bag. His bag? He had a big bag. Other children were in the bag too. I think we go to other houses. I hear people screaming outside the bag all during the night. Each house he put another child in the bag. Then after the night he takes us all away. Where did he take you? Underground. Deep underground. Underground? You mean in a basement? Deep. Everything earth and mud and ice. Bones everywhere. Everything cold. I can't sleep because it's too cold. Lots of children. Lots of tunnels. Lots of holes. But I can't see all. I can't see the other. Too dark. My hole is with Renee and Helka and Sasha and Paul. We make toys together. He has a fucking underground network of, like, little children making toys? The toys? If you don't make the toys, you don't eat. Don't stop making the toys. Don't fall asleep or he hurts you. They are his elves! Child labor! He hurts you how? He hits you, or he burns you, or he bites off your fingers, or he cooks you on the fire in his room or eats you. He ate Felipe and Sally. What about you? How did this happen to you? Did he do this? EM pauses and says, Renee and Helka and Sasha and Paul did this. They had to. Why? I got sick. When you can't make the toys, you become the toys. Okay. That brought it back at the end. I was not taking this seriously because of the comparisons to llamas with hats, but like, ooh, he brought it back at the end. Oh my god. That's really cool, actually. Yeah, hell yeah, it's cool. So it's basically like a way more fucked up version of Krampus, or like Santa Claus. It's this, like, large, naked man that literally kidnaps children and makes them, like, forces them to make, like, weird toys. That's horrifying. Wow. That's really well made. I like that a lot. Ew. I like that it has, like, a specific place that it, like, burrows under, and, like, nobody knows where he takes all the children. That's really fucking cool. Okay. That might be one of my favorite, like, creepy SCPs that we've, like, read in the channel. One of my favorites from the past stream was the how was it? It was the weird uncle, or like the weird neighbors that like infiltrated like a family home. Those were really, really cool. Okay. We got time for one more. Yeah, that's why the toys are so crude. Thank you, Fartface, by the way, for the $5. Phil, he's forcing the little kids to make toys out of the ones they replace as his elves. Ooh. Blink donates €2 and says Carl, more like Carl Heisenberg. Arwarj donates and says, if anyone's interested in learning a little bit more about this SCP, I recommend reading SCP-5925. What is that? 5925. The Holly King. Well, we only got 30 minutes left before this stream is over, so I think that we should try to do something different. Let's see. Alright. People in chat that are still awake, is there one specific one you would like me to read before we go? Let me look at the suggestions over the course of the stream. Luke Nukem says 426, it's amazing. If no one said it yet, SCP-5000, SCP-999, 049, let's do that. 939, and the cartoon says SCP-049, 939 or or 049. Okay, there's a lot of 049. Ooh. Yeah, this one is long. I think this is going to be the last one of the night. Alright. Apparently this one is like a classic. So, let's finish this off with a classic SCP. This is SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. SCP-049, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-049 is contained within a standard secure humanoid containment cell in Research Sector 02 at Site 19. SCP-049 must be sedated before any attempts to transport it. During transport, 049 must be secured within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness, including a locking collar and extension restraints, and monitored by no fewer than 2 armed guards. While SCP-049 is generally cooperative with most Foundation personnel, outbursts or sudden changes in behavior are to be met with elevated force. Under no circumstances should any personnel come into direct contact with SCP-049 during these outbursts. In the event SCP-049 becomes aggressive, the application of lavender has been shown to produce a calming effect on the entity. Once calmed, 049 generally becomes compliant and will return to containment with little resistance. In order to facilitate the ongoing containment of SCP-049, the entity is to be provided with the corpse of a recently deceased animal, typically a bovine or other large animal, once every 2 weeks for study. Corpses that become instances of SCP-0492 are to be removed from SCP-049's containment cell and incinerated. SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact with human subjects, and requests for human subjects are to be denied. Okay. Temporary Containment Procedure Updates. Per Containment Committee Order, SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact directly with any members of Foundation staff, nor is it to be provided with any additional corpses to be used in its surgeries. This order shall persist indefinitely, until such time a consensus regarding the ongoing containment of SCP-049 can be reached. Description: SCP-049 is a humanoid entity, roughly 1.9 meters in height, which bears the appearance of a medieval plague doctor. While SCP-049 appears to be wearing the thick robes and the ceramic mask indicative of that profession, the garments instead seem to have grown out of SCP-049's body over time, and are now nearly indistinguishable from whatever form is underneath them. X-rays indicate that despite this, SCP-049 does have humanoid skeletal structure beneath its outer layer. SCP-049 is capable of speech in a variety of languages, though tends to prefer English or medieval French. While 049 is generally cordial and cooperative with Foundation staff, it can become especially irritated or at times outright aggressive if it feels that it is in the presence of what it calls the pestilence. Although the exact nature of this pestilence is currently unknown to Foundation researchers, it does seem to be an issue of immense concern to SCP-049. SCP-049 will become hostile with individuals it sees as being affected by the pestilence, often having to be restrained should it encounter such. If left unchecked, SCP-049 will generally attempt to kill any such individual. SCP-049 is capable of causing all biological functions of an organism to cease through direct skin contact. How this occurs is currently unknown, and autopsies of SCP-049's victims have invariably been inconclusive. SCP-049 has expressed frustration or remorse after these killings, indicating that they have done little to kill the pestilence, though will usually seek to then perform a crude surgery on the corpse, using the implements contained within a black doctor's bag it carries on its person at all times. While these surgeries are not always successful, they often result in the creation of instances of SCP-0492. SCP-0492 instances are reanimated corpses that have been operated on by SCP-049. These instances do not seem to retain any of their prior memories or mental functions, having only basic motor skills and response mechanisms. While these instances are generally inactive, moving very little and in generally ambulatory fashion, they can become extremely aggressive if provoked, or if directed to by SCP-049. 0492 instances express active biological functions, though these are vastly different from currently understood human physiology. Despite these alterations, 049 often remarks that the subjects have been cured. So he's basically a necromancer. Yeah, he's basically a necromancer. Addendum 049.1 Discovery. 049 was discovered during the investigation of a series of unknown disappearances in the town of Montauban in southern France. During a raid on a local home, investigators found several instances of 0492 as well as SCP-049. While law enforcement personnel engaged the hostile 0492 instances, 049 was noted as watching the engagement and taking notes in its journal. After all the 0492 instances were dispatched, SCP-049 willingly entered Foundation custody. The following interview was conducted by Dr. Raymond Ham during the initial investigation. Begin log. 049 speaks in French. So then, should we begin? An introduction. Dr. Ham responds, "Is that French? Can we get a translator?" "Oh, the King's English. No need for translation, sir. I can speak it well enough." "Oh, good. My name is Dr. Raymond Ham, and I..." "Ah, a doctor. A like-minded individual, no doubt. Wherein is your specialty, sir?" "Cryptobiology, why?" "A medical man such as myself, wonders abound. And here I worried I had been abducted by a common street thug." "This place, then? Is this your laboratory? I had wondered, as clean as it is, and with such little trace of the pestilence here." "The pestilence? What do you mean?" "The scourge. The great dying. Come on now, you know, what is it they call it? No matter. The pestilence, yes. It abounds outside these walls, you know. So many have succumbed, and many more will continue to, until such time as a perfect cure can be developed. Fortunately, I am very close. It is my duty in life to rid the world of it, you see. The cure to end all cures." Dr. Ham says, "When you say the great dying, are you talking about the bubonic plague?" SCP-049 pauses and says, "I don't know what that is." "I see, right. Well, the entities or agents encountered at that house, they were dead when you encountered them, yes? And you reanimated them?" "In a matter of speaking, you see things too simply, Doctor. Expand your horizons. Life and death, sickness and health. These are amateur terms for amateur physicians. There is only one ailment that exists in the world of men, and that is the pestilence, and nothing else. Make no mistake, they were very, very ill. All of them. You think you cured those people? Indeed. My cure is most effective. These things we recovered were not human. Yeah, well, it's not a perfect cure. That will come with time and with further experimentation. I have spent a lifetime developing my methods, Dr. Ham, and we will spend a lifetime more if necessary. Now, we have wasted too much time. There is work to do. I will require a laboratory of my own, one where I can continue my research unimpeded. And assistance, of course, though I can provide those on my own in time. I don't think our organization will be willing to— Nonsense! We're all men of science. Fetch your coat and show me to my quarters, Doctor. Our work begins now. End log. I fucking love this dude, actually. I like how this dude talks. I would be a willing assistant to this fucking bird brain looking motherfucker. Oh, that's good. Interviewer's note. While SCP-049 is capable of communicating in a very human way, there is a strange sense of unease that one experiences when in its presence. Make no mistake, there is something very uncanny about this entity indeed. Additionally, we've confiscated that pointed stick that SCP-049 keeps waving around. Part of this was due to a standard confiscation protocols for the possessions of anomalies, and part because 049 really is a menace swinging it around like he does. The entity was displeased at first, but after we made some concessions in providing it with test subjects, it warmed up to the idea. Gangsta's paradise, ass Kane. Addendum 0492 Observation Log. While in containment at Site 19, SCP-049 has spent a considerable amount of time studying and performing surgery on the various mammalian corpses it has been provided. SCP-049 will routinely spend several days performing surgery, and then spending several more days documenting its findings in a thick leather journal stored within its doctor's bag. SCP-049 will often seek to share its findings with members of Foundation staff. The following is a log of several occasions during which SCP-049 was observed operating on a mammalian corpse. Observation Log 049-OL1 Summary. Subject SCP-049. Preface. A test subject, D-85-123, was introduced into SCP-049's containment cell. The entity expressed sincere gratitude towards all members of the containment and research staff. Observation Notes. SCP-049 began by asking D-85-123 several standard medical questions, as it began removing tools from its bag. Shortly after finishing its preparations, SCP-049 quickly closed the distance between the two, killing the subject with a touch to its throat. Afterwards, SCP-049 made a number of considerable alterations to the basic structure of the subject's corpse, often introducing fluids from within its bag into the subject by way of a hand-powered pump and copper tubing. The resulting 0492 instance became animated, flailing and grasping at the walls of the chamber with a number of manufactured limbs, while moaning out of an oblong orifice now present in its sternum. During this time, 049 was observed taking notes of the instance in its journal, and remarking to the watching research staff about the efficacy of its cure. Security personnel entered the chamber to move 049 back to containment and were attacked by the instance. The security team dispatched the 049-2 instance, and SCP-049 returned to containment with no resistance, stating that it was pleased with the results. Observation Log 049-OL2 Summary. Subject SCP-049. Preface: 049 was provided with the corpse of a recently deceased goat. SCP-049 expressed gratitude at the provision. Observation Notes: 049 operated on the goat corpse for several days, eventually resulting in an instance of 0492. SCP-049 expressed pleasure in this outcome, though admitted that the disease was still in its nascent stage. My veterinarian practice is rudimentary, but the patient responded well to the procedure. What the fuck happened with the goat, then? What the hell? It does not say how the goat behaved afterwards. What the fuck? Observation Log 049-OL3. Subject SCP-049. Preface: the subject was provided with the corpse of a recently deceased orangutan. SCP-049 expressed noted gratitude at the provision due to the similarities between the orangutan and a common human physiology. Observation Notes: SCP-049 spent several days operating on the orangutan, reanimating it several times. However, 049 appeared to be discontent with the results it experienced, returning the creature 3 times after its initial reanimation for additional work. After it was unable to reanimate the corpse a 5th time, 049 turned the corpse over to the Foundation staff for incineration, stating, "I have learned so much from this. Though I fear my early optimism was misplaced, I hadn't yet come across such a stumbling block on my road to the cure. More subjects like this would do a great deal in advancing my research." Not the monkey! Observation Log 049-OL7. Preface: SCP-049 was provided the corpse of a recently deceased bovine. 049 expressed mild annoyance at the provision, though accepted it nonetheless. 049 spent several days operating on the bovine corpse, breaking only to dine on a requested dinner of thin crackers, salted pork, and hard cheese. Beginning first by embalming the corpse, SCP-049 was observed producing a number of long syringes from its bag, each containing a different, dark, viscous liquid. SCP-049 described these fluids as essences of the humerus, and elaborated by saying the pestilence may bring about a systemic imbalance. In such a case, before true healing can begin, one must find the humerus in balance or the body will reject the cure. Over the next few days, SCP-049 spent a considerable amount of time adjusting the organs of the bovine corpse with a number of large metal instruments. After 8 days, SCP-049 produced a lightning rod, which Dr. Ham exchanged for an electric cattle prod attached to an extension cord, and struck the corpse in several locations. This action seemingly had the effect of reanimating the bovine, which once again became ambulatory, despite the inversion of the head and reorientation of its limbs. What the f... Follow-up interview. Begin log. Dr. Ham says, "We've watched your work for several weeks now, and honestly, I'm not sure I understand what you're doing. Can you describe your process in detail?" "Oh, goodness, no. The process is most intensive. As I said to your assistant, the best instruction you will find about my methods are here in my journals. as I have kept exhaustive records of my work there. I see. My concern, Doctor, is that we still don't understand what you're seeking to cure, or how it manifests, or how turning these creatures into quasi-living, mindless drones helps in that effort. You do not understand the pestilence, even after all this time? Doctor, it is an unspeakable horror, one that has shown its true face many times before and will again. I find myself blessed with the wisdom and good senses needed to root it out and destroy it, but many like yourself cannot. It is a cruel judgment, I fear, to be at the mercy of a disease you cannot fully comprehend. That still doesn't answer my question. How is your cure any kind of cure at all? It is a cure. You may laugh at my efforts if you please, but do not besmirch the good name of scientific progress that has developed this great mercy. What you so short-sightedly see here is a life better than any this creature could have hoped for, stricken as it was with pestilence. This creature is now clean, unable to spread the pestilence, and free from the terror it would have experienced otherwise. This is hardly a creature at all, Doctor. It's not even... Do not jape me, sir. You and your colleague are like so many others, unable to look past minor setbacks to see the salvation taking place before your very eyes. Do you wait to remove rotten timbers until the hall collapses on top of you? No. You find them, and you pull them out, and replace them with those untouched by rot. And most of all, you do not simply mock the structure because it now looks different to you. It is strong. It is free of disease. I'm sorry. I did not mean to agitate you. I'm just trying to understand. Yes, well, do mind your words in the future, Doctor. I'm a professional, and even the professionals may feel the bite of pride in dealing with criticism of their masterpiece. I will forgive this as an act of good faith between colleagues. Is there anything else I can help you with? No. That would be all. Another test subject, on the usual schedule. You know my preference of subjects with more human anatomies. And log. Attending researcher's note. SCP-049 does seem to genuinely want to help other humans, though it has not yet been able to provide a concrete example of what exactly it is trying to save us all from. I have watched it now over several weeks, and while the outcomes do not seem to ever change, 049 continues to claim that it is growing closer to its perfect cure. I think the entity may be more aware of the reality of these outcomes than it would like us to think. So it's basically coping about being a failure of a doctor. It's basically coping and just saying like, yeah, no, chill, like, I totally did it. And it's just like realizing like, nah, yeah, I totally fucked up. It's just trying to cover up how bad of a job it's actually doing. Okay, well, yeah, but don't say it, sad face. Addendum 0493. Incident in 2017. Starting shortly after SCP-049's initial containment, Dr. Ham conducted a number of interviews with the subject regarding its anomalous properties, and over time began to note its displeasure with its subjects and the SCP-0492 instances. This continued for a period of several months, during which 049 never exhibited any aggressive behaviors. On April 16th, 2017, as Dr. Ham was entering 049's test chamber to conduct another routine interview, the entity began to grow anxious and asked Dr. Ham if he was feeling well. Following protocol, Dr. Ham reminded 049 that the interview was required, after which the entity became hostile and attacked Dr. Ham, killing him. Due to a lapse in security protocol, and because Dr. Ham did not activate the in-chamber emergency system, Dr. Ham's corpse was not discovered until 3 hours later, by which point SCP-049 had converted it into an instance of SCP-0492. In the aftermath of this incident, 049 was interviewed by Dr. Theron Sherman. Dr. Sherman says, "I need you to explain yourself." SCP-049, you're being directed to explain your actions, and I will remind you that failure to cooperate will result in further restrictions during your containment. My actions do not need to be explained. You killed Raymond Ham and then butchered him until he... Not dead? No, not dead. Yes, he is cured. Cured? Cured of what? The pestilence, sir! I thought you, at least, would realize what luck it is. I detected it before. What pestilence? You keep going on and on about this pestilence, but you have not once been able to properly identify this disease. What could you have possibly seen in him today that you had not seen so many times before? What? It would be worth his life. The pestilence presents and progresses in unforeseeable fashions, and has a queer way of creeping into the unprepared. And call it what you want, Doctor. It was a mercy I did to him. He is cured. He is a vegetable. I would not expect you to understand. You and your ilk have proven time and time again to be not men of science, but men of emotion. You cannot appreciate the horrors I have seen. Those many millions who have succumbed to the pestilence and been changed. Your cure cost Ray his life, man. No, good sir, I've saved it. You would allow this world to slip back into the despair of disease and death, ignoring that I have created a miracle and... Dude, what disease? What pestilence? He was a healthy man. He was a good doctor. I'm offering it simply to the afflicted. You are not worth this argument, sir. You are short-sighted and foolish. Dr. Ham was sick, and I cured him. I am the only one who can do this. My work must continue. There's so much still to learn. So much to... I've had enough of this. Consider your allowances revoked. Welcome to containment, 049. We're fucking done here. Still, and others can be saved. Even you, though you do not deserve it, might be saved. I can save them all. I can cast down this plague once and for all. I can do this. Only me. I have saved him. I am the cure. What a fucking weirdo. Okay, get the fuck out of here. Addendum 0494. Post-incident report interview. The following interview is an excerpt from the April 16th, 2017 049 incident report. The interview was conducted by Dr. Elijah Itkin and took place 3 weeks after the start of the initial investigation. Interviewer: Dr. Elijah Itkin. Interviewee: SCP-049. Dr. Itkin says, SCP-049. We're conducting this interview to close out our investigation of your actions taken in April 16th that resulted in the death of a staff member. Do you have any comments to make? Only that I look forward to the day when you will allow me to resume my work. I have spent the last few weeks compiling my notes and constructing a new theory for how the pestilence was able to infect someone in such an insidious manner that I nearly couldn't detect it. Dr. Itkin responds with, have you experienced any remorse for your actions, for the death of Dr. Ham? Ah, yes. Well, the death of a colleague is always regrettable. But in the face of the pestilence, we must be swift, Doctor, and without any hesitation. Dr. Etkin says, Dr. Sherman noted in his report that you seemed to be mournful during your initial interview. Mourn? Oh, well, perhaps. I had not thought that. It is lamentable that a fellow doctor became infected, but the work continues. Regrettable as it was, Dr. Ham's death provided important insight. Living human subjects are the only way to proceed forward. I am decided. My cure is of little use on dead flesh, and I have gleaned all I can from your generous supply of corpses. My desires turn towards tending to those still living who suffer from the disease. I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. Oh, Doctor, I wouldn't be so sure. And that is end log. Apparently there is an extra story to be added onto this called Going Home. But sadly, we are going to have to end the stream for tonight because I will be playing Little Nightmares 3 in about 20 to 30 minutes. We are out of time. Yes, we are out of time. Though, thank you so much to the people that ended up super chatting during that reading. Thank you to Angels, Art, and Gaming for the $2. Perfect to fall asleep to in a good way. A bit sick. Hopefully you enjoyed it, Angels Art. You kind of came in a little bit late, and we are out of time right now, but I very much enjoyed this. Thank you, King Raptor, as well, for the $5. Hey, don't know if we're still doing requests, but can you read 6448 or 6668? Sadly, we are out of time, and I'm not able to read any more. However, I am really liking these SCP readings. It's been like around a year since I did one. I might actually do more frequent ones for like the month of October. I'm thinking of doing more creepypasta readings and more SCP readings like in a week or maybe 2 weeks, depending on how the schedule goes. So, for the fans of chill readings, don't you worry. This series is not going anywhere. And hopefully with the new microphone, the issues with the connection and the audio and like very loud or high-pitched noises have been fixed. I have been looking into getting one of these new microphones for a while for you guys, so hopefully the settings and filters that I applied to this microphone were good for this stream. Please let me know if you enjoyed this in the comments and like how it compares to the other chill readings with like the old microphone. Right now I will be taking like a 20 to 30 minute like pause so that I can prepare for the Little Nightmares 3 stream. Alright? Scalo says, thank you for reading these SCPs. I'm glad that you got to know the existence of the Tickle monster and the Patchwork bear. They're so silly. I like these chill readings because it's like reaching into like a Halloween candy bag. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. You might get like a cute story about like a slime monster that tickles you and makes you feel happy. or you get the story of like a creepy naked Santa Claus that like slaughters your family, kidnaps you, and puts you in the mines to work in like human-made toys. Either way, it fucks, because like I'm a huge fan of horror stories. So it's like this random grab bag of like candy that can be like either super fucked up or like really silly. Anyways, I will be directing everyone currently viewing the stream into the Little Nightmares 3 stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. In around 2 weeks, we're gonna get another chill reading for October, and then we're gonna be continuing like at least one chill reading per month. So I want to be like more active with these streams more often. And maybe we can do like a second karaoke stream. That would also be really nice. Alright, it's time to go. Thank you everyone that joined up on this, on the chat, on the people that are currently maybe sleeping. I'm not sure if you actually managed to sleep with these streams. I'd be very happy to hear that, because, you know, that's kind of the point of these. So, I'll see you guys in about 20 to 30 minutes for Little Nightmares 3, okay? Bye-bye. Yeah.